Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this year's first cast of the Hexagon Cup 2. My name is Dels. I'm on the Dark Red team, and joining me today is my co-caster, Paratroopa.
And I'm on the light blue team. Hello.
And hosting us today, we have Corvus Mallory, who is on, I believe, the dark blue team. So we have representation here from
It's
all
true.
three teams.
It's a real
and you
group
can
effort.
see all of their flags.
Yeah,
So
aren't they lovely?
They are lovely. One of them is a little bit creepy. I think that would be my team. So what are we talking about here? Why do we have three teams? This is the Hexagon Cup. And the Hexagon Cup is SpyParty's, I think, only large-scale team tournament. And so we have 48 players who signed up, and they were split into three teams who are going to match up on a giant hexagon-shaped grid to win points.
That's right, and you can see our drafts here on screen now. We had three team leaders: Psychosloth, Tabsies, and Grash, and they did a snake draft before this tournament started. So they went 1, 2, 3, then 4, 5, 6 the other way, etc., throughout the whole draft, picking whoever they wanted out of here, and you can see the results of that now.
Yeah, and so the way the team captains were chosen is that whenever anyone signed up for the tournament, on the sign-up form, you got to volunteer to be a team captain, and the tournament organizer, Nebula, chose who they thought would be the best picks. Anyone who was a team captain last year was not eligible to be one this year, and so we came out with team captains Psychosloth, Thabsies, and Grosh. And these are all players who've been in the community for quite a while and have been quite active in the community. I think Grosh is the newest team captain, and I think Psycho has been playing just a little bit longer than the other two. And I think that reflected in the choices that Psycho made, because Psycho's team has more players who are longtime veterans. It even includes some players who haven't necessarily played the game in a while and are just returning for this tournament. Like Aberar is on the Dark Red team. Aberar was one of the finalists in the Winter Cup 2019, I think, but hasn't played much competitively since then.
Yeah, so it's interesting to see that Psycho has a lot of players who have taken a little bit of time off and are coming back. But all of these teams are really strong. You know, all the team leaders are very active in the community and, know the entire roster of players really well, up and down.
Yeah, and there's some really strong players here. I mean, if you look at basically the top few picks for each team, they were fighting for, prime real estate, getting basically some of the top 10 players in the competitive scene at the moment, I would say. So Team Light Blue, Thabsies, picked up Legorv and Lazy Bear. Lazy Bear is the winner of the most recent SCL. Legorv won one of the cup tournaments recently. And then Dark Blue has Opie and Minnie. They've also been doing really well recently, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Opie has... He won a cup recently, I want to say. I don't remember which one.
There's been a lot of cups. I think Legorv and Opie have both respectively won a Winter Cup and a Summer Cup recently.
And
Minioric won Mix and Match, right?
What's that?
Minioric won the Mix and Match tournament last year, right?
I believe that's correct, yeah.
Yeah, meanwhile, Team Psycho, the Dark Red team, picked up Rov with their first pick, who's also just been an incredibly hot player recently, just dominating multiple competitive events.
Yeah, won our most recent cup here, most recent Winter Cup.
And so I think all three teams are fairly balanced. The team leaders do know the state of the competitive scene, and so no one made any picks that were, wildly out of order. Everyone was trying to pick the best players that were left at that point in the draft. Last year, the final scores came out so close between the three teams. They were just within a couple points of each other. And I wouldn't be surprised if the same thing happens again here.
Yeah, I think the scores are going to be really close. These drafts up and down, include just a lot of really good players who could beat each other on any given match. So I expect the scores to be really close again.
Yeah. And so what we're going to be doing today is we are going to be going through the entirety of week 1 of the tournament. So the Hexagon Cup lasts for 3 weeks total. Every week, 1/3 of the tiles on the grid are fought over by the 3 teams. And so at the end of 3 weeks, this entire grid will be colored in. So whichever team wins a tile, it gets colored in their color. Right now, it's empty, but we are going to slowly start filling it in.
That's right, and we're going to go through, I think, one game of every match played in week 1 here. We're going to go through them in sets. So we're seeing the first set here. These 3 hexes that were played between Thabsy's team and
Psycho
yes,
and the
Psycho
Deadly
team. Thank
Sins. Yeah, and so that's Psycho and the Deadly Sins versus the Super SpyParty Star Rush Superstars 64.
Well done.
I think it was named that because a lot of players on your team have Mario themed names.
We have either Mario themed names or names that could be Mario themed if you look at them the right way. Like Yosh.
Right, you have Yosh on your
I
team.
think.
I don't think Yosh is named after Yoshi, but
I don't think so. But it comes to mind.
It works out. And of course, Psycho Sloth, my team leader, I think is named after the cute, lazy animal. But Sloth is also one of the deadly sins. So, anyway, so each tile on the grid is worth 1 point if your team wins it. However, there are adjacency bonuses. So for every tile that you win that's touching another tile that you already won, you get a multiplicative score bonus. And in addition to that, all of the tiles have one of the 4 suits: heart, clubs, spades, or diamonds. And you can also win points for having the most of any individual suit at the end of the 3 weeks.
Yeah, and you can't see on this grid, but also there's 3. It's kind of divided into 3 sections that 2 teams each are fighting over. So we're seeing these 3 hexes that are in the section that Psycho and Thabsy's team are competing over here.
Yeah, each team has 2/3 of the grid, which is their turf, sort of. And so with each team having 2/3, each team also overlaps with the other 2 teams. So Psycho's team, dark red, is up at like the top left, and Thabsy's team, the Super SpyParty Star Rush Superstar 64, are up at the top right. And so, of course, they're going to be overlapping through the whole top middle area of the grid. And so that's the first 3 matches that we are going to be looking at now. And so, first up, we have Interpunct versus Yosh. The name here says Yoshi because Yosh changed their name to Yoshi to get in the mood. But this is Yosh. Yosh has been playing the game for a couple years now, but isn't necessarily someone who tries super hard to be competitive. Not exactly a try hard. Interpunct is a newer player, so Yosh has the advantage in experience, but I could see this one going either way. And we're going to be seeing the highlight game from this set, the most climactic game as chosen by Nebula, our organizer. And it's going to be Interpunct playing as Pearls on Terrace. Let's take a look in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
So each of these sets of matches are 12 games played on 2 different venues, should be noted. So this set was played on balcony and terrace. So we've got two small maps for these 2 players here. And the players are going to be assigned to the venues that they're generally the most comfortable with. Our teams are planning these things out ahead of time behind the scenes, and this is where Interpunkt and Yash got matched up here.
Yeah, and so we see Interpunk going for an immediate green swap. It's not the most common mission to see on Terrace because it's such a small venue and the sniper has a clear view of all the statues. But look at that. When General picks up the statue to swap it, Duke is standing in the way. So if you don't notice the swap at the moment it happens, you could miss it. And Interpunk does a banana bread immediately afterwards, which is also going to distract the sniper from that swap.
Yeah, aggressive BB here because it takes out General, who swapped the statue for us, but it gives Yash a lot to think about here. And, it's so unusual to take this swap on Terrace that it might not be noticed right away. We haven't seen all of the games in this set, so we don't really know the counterplay that's going on here. But, sometimes if you think that maybe the sniper isn't watching for something like swap, you might think that you can get away with this. And since it's 3 of 7 Terrace, you only need to get one hardtail off. So at this point, if we're not shot for swap yet, all we need to do is flirt and we could win this game.
Yeah, and I don't think Yash has noticed the swap. I mean, a lot of players as sniper, the first thing they're going to do on any venue is immediately memorize the statues. But if you don't memorize them right away and the swap comes off quickly, you can be in trouble. But also, swap is just not a common mission for spies to do. So sometimes the sniper might just not remember to go look at the statues again in the middle of the game, especially when there was a banana bread to distract them.
Yeah, so we got, good real highlights here for Yash. We had quite a few real contacts, actually, in this double agent conversation. But Interpunkt is going to step away to make the cooldown timer reset here and get right back into Sari and going to flirt. And we're going to see if Yash has any suspicion of the swap. If he doesn't, I think that this is going to be a mission win for Interpunkt.
Yeah, it just looks like the swap went unnoticed the entire game, which makes me wonder if perhaps Yash didn't memorize the statues at the start.
Yeah, that's a nice win for Interpunkt. Really aggressive play there at the start, and got away with it clean.
Yep, and in the end, this set did go on to be a tie, which is, I would say, a pretty good result for Interpunkt and Team Red, considering Yash is the one with more competitive experience. I mean, Yash has gotten some wins. Yash got a win against Turnout, right, in the SCL tournament of position once, just a couple of years ago. And Turnout was a longtime veteran. So Interpunkt getting a tie here when they're a newer player, I think that's a pretty good result. And so that means the first hex we've seen, tie between dark red and light blue. And now we get to watch another match between two newer players. We have Toad Rider representing team light blue on the Spy. And we have ICOVT, who's on team red, sniping on balcony in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
And interestingly, this was also a balcony terrace match. So we got our new players here on these smaller venues again. Perhaps just more comfortable with these slightly less chaotic venues. I'm not sure. But balcony is a really challenging venue to snipe. We don't see a lot of competitive balconies, so we don't cast a lot of it. But as only 2 of 3 missions, you have to get that seduce done. And, that means you have to be able to watch for who's doing the talks here. We take a BB with everyone in conversation, but Toad Rider here is talking, doing a white BB there. So we'll see if Akovt, I don't know how to pronounce it.
ICOVT is the preferred pronunciation, but I think they go with anything at this point.
Yeah, so we'll see if ICOVT, we have the highlight on hair here, but Kane, with a 51% here, Pearl's out of conversation. We're going to see to where she returns. There is an empty space next to us, and if she returns, no, she decides to go to the window instead. We could join her and try to get this green flirt here. Green flirt could win this game here, I think, but we only get a white. So we still need to get one more flirt.
Because now we need to return to her again, and we were just seen going to her at windows. So if she enters convo and we go right next to her and talk, it could prompt a shot.
We don't need to, though. We only need to get a white flirt from far away, and she's going to step into this conversation from far away. So it's going to be difficult to see that Kane is flirting with her. He has talked a lot, though. We see ICOVT lining up, maybe not lining up a shot. I'm not sure. Oh, that's the highlight. There's the shot. I think Kane just had
Wow.
one too many talks, and ICOVT takes a great shot here on Kane here for finishing flirt.
Yeah, that's a really good shot, especially because the flirt at Windows wasn't super focused on. When we went to flirt at Windows, the binoculars were sort of zoomed in on the conversation. So Aiko would have had to really see that out of the corner of their eye. But I think it's just what you said. Kane was seen talking a lot. He talked twice in a row there too, which means we had done a talk in conversation without the ST that we didn't actually need to do. That maybe got us in trouble as well.
Yeah, it's possible. That can work against some players because if they perhaps did have you flirt paired with pearls, but then you go back in a conversation and talk again. I have actually fished for a low light successfully on balcony before this way, but I don't know if Echo BT specifically had that pairing with pearls or just correctly latched on the fact that Kane had talked enough to finish missions there.
Yeah.
Could have been
Either way,
trouble
though,
if he
it's
didn't
a
shoot
good
earlier,
shot.
but yeah,
Balcony can be hard,
really good.
especially when you're new. It's hard to really take a confident shot when all you have to look for is people talking, which is not much. So that's the first point on the board for Team Dark Red, Psycho and the Deadly Sins. And now we got one more matchup between these two teams. This one is two veteran players. We have team leader Thabsies of the Superstar SpyParty Rush Superstars 64, spying as Rocker on Courtyard, going up against Coddy from Team Dark Red in 3, 2, 1, planet. And so Thabsies, as a team leader, has a lot of knowledge of the other players in the game. Thabsies is known for, I think he has some sort of script that will automatically sit in the game's lobby and spectate any two players that are playing a match. And so Thabsies has the largest collection of game replays of basically anyone in the community, I think, which I'm sure that knowledge definitely helped them pick who they wanted on their team. And it also just gives them a lot of strategies that they can use as spy. Thabsies is known as being one of the only players in the game who has the ability to do a bug with a drink in their hand. The game is normally set up not to allow that to happen, but if you right click at like the precise millisecond pixel perfect time, you can bug with a drink in your hand. That's the sort of thing that Thabsies is famous for, and it makes them a very formidable spy.
Yeah, it's cool that Thabsies has this kind of like superpower, a signature trick that they do. Makes their play as spy really memorable. So we'll see what they do here on Courtyard. Courtyard, not the best venue to get a bug on, but with a drink in hand, it can be hard to see sometimes. So far, though, we're starting out pretty standard. We got a 2 flirt there in conversation with a timer flirt, and now we're getting a contact and running away from it. That was a really good contact. I think both SDAs were in. And so now we just have to do 2 missions. We could just go into statues and just inspect swap, or we could look for another opportunity elsewhere.
Yeah, you're usually going to get your inspects on Courtyard, but then you really struggle to find a timing for your 4th mission. Coddy is a really strong sniper as well. Coddy is an example of a player who also has taken time off competitively recently, but then was drafted onto the Dark Red team. We said that it had quite a few veterans who maybe haven't played in a while. But Coddy made such a splash when he first started playing. He was in the Iron division of SCL, which is one of the lower divisions, but just completely dominated it and jumped up to gold. And there we go. Thabsies firing off a green purloin here. Let's see if Coddy's going to be able to catch this.
Yeah, this is an interesting play because Thabsies, because he got the seduction done so early, hasn't really had to move around a lot. So I don't think has really done a lot of activity that makes them seem spy-like. The trick is, if they go to inspects now, are they going to be shot for that? Because they were in this purloin chain, and that might be enough.
They do a fake banana bread, but Tex is the one who took the list. Tex is taking a sip of his drink during that contact, which makes it look even more unlikely for him to be the spy. It's so unfortunate. I mean, he immediately took after our
We have to
reject,
crash bug.
but we
to
can't
bug
do
here.
anything.
Oh, that bug took. That was a wrong arm bug entering this conversation. Does Cotty see it? No, he doesn't. Takes the shot on wheels.
Wow. I can't believe that we got away with that bug. And the fact that we got away with it means that we probably weren't seen rejecting that drink. We probably just weren't a suspect for the green purloin at all, because if we were at all a suspect, Cotty would have shot for standing next to the ambassador there at the end.
Yeah, we didn't see a lot of lights taken for this purloin, so I'm not sure if Cotty was super on top of it. It might have been kind of a little bit of a surprising purloin, I guess. And, you know, with like no inspectors were in that chain or anything, so they just wasn't really interesting to watch them, I guess. This bug was really interesting. Thabsy starts it like super far away from the Amba, but then just kind of curves in and gets into the Amba space right as the bug ends, and so it counts. That was a really interesting execution there. It just looked like Kai didn't really have the angle to see it. I don't think he was looking for it.
Yeah, that bug was better than it had any right to be for a last second desperation.
No kidding.
Bug.
Yeah.
And a lot of times that can work because the sniper is sort of thinking ahead. They're thinking, okay, if this goes into overtime, is there someone who might be flirting? Is there someone else that I should shoot? And they just stop looking at the ambassador for just those last 2 seconds. But it also just really comes down to the purloin. We just weren't a suspect for it. And so there we go. Those are the first 3 matches. We had, so we have Thabsies winning this set 8-4, which gives the tile to Team Light Blue, the Super Spy Party Star Rush 64. And so that's just 1 tile for both of those teams and a tie. And now we're going to look at another matchup. We're going to see 3 sets between Psycho and the Deadly Sins versus Grosh's 15. The third team, which is Dark Blue. I'm colorblind. Is it dark blue, dark purple? It's dark blue.
Yeah.
Dark blue.
Yeah,
okay.
Very navy blue.
Great. All right. And so the first set we're going to be seeing there is going to be Scout versus June. And I think this is an example of how the Hex Cup really creates fair matchups. You know, your strongest players, you know, like Opie Wrights and Rov and Mini Auric are often going to be assigned to sort of the crucial tiles in the middle of the board. Because like we said, you get adjacency bonuses for how many tiles next to each other you win. So a lot of the strongest players will be kind of placed in the middle so that they can get entire clumps of tiles next to each other. Whereas some of the newer players might be placed closer to the edge. And so you have here Scout and June, who are players who are not completely new. They've been playing for a couple of years. And I just think it creates a fair matchup here.
Yeah, I'd say that we got a lot of like really intriguing matchups throughout this competition. You know, we will see a few lopsided matches today, but most of these have been pretty even. It turns out a lot of that is just because a lot of the players themselves are even. But you know, I'd favor Scout a little bit in this one. Scout is definitely a veteran of SpyParty at this point, I would say. June is a little bit newer, but we have seen some really good results out of her lately. So this could be really close.
All right. We have Scout playing as Taft on Pub in 3, 2, 1, Planet.
Love to see Taft on Pub. He's so fast that he can just move around. His brown suit really blends into the venue well. I just think he's a great spy. Can't bug, but that's fine. It's Pub. So we get a nice little cheese flirt here at the statue. We stop the statue pad. Pearls has the statue. We get that flirt. We get out of there. Ooh, Time-Ad. Time-Ad behind the pillar here. June did not have the angle to see that. I believe that was a white Time-Ad, so we'll see if June has any reaction here.
Yeah, and I think it's exactly what you said. Getting away with a Time-Ad behind that door is a lot easier when your suit color blends in with the wall.
Yeah, we got a pretty good BB here. There's 3 low lights. 4, sorry. I didn't see Alice behind there. June got them all. Still pretty good BB, though. We had both SDAs in. That big combo on the right is fake, though. So we'll see if June can kind of suss out. There aren't that many reels here. But we're just going to keep motoring. We have a lot of time. This is Sniper Arcade Pub, so it's 3 of 7. So again, you only need one hardtail or just an inspect in addition to your contact and seduce. And it's really difficult to shoot for contact, seduce, inspect games, especially when there's been a time ad that you didn't catch. So
Yeah, and
Scout,
this is pub 3 of 7, so you don't have a lot of time. You have more time now. You're going for
great time
another
ad.
another time ad. Okay.
Yep. And we see a highlight on Teal, so this time ad hasn't been caught yet. Scout is just motoring here, but unfortunately, Taft, the fastest spy, and Pearl's the slowest ST, kind of gets snagged on her a little bit. But we know where she's going because there's only one destination that's that far back. So Scout's able to meet her there, and she leaves immediately. But we get that flirt anyway, so it's okay. We got the flirt. We have 2 minutes left, so we really don't need to rush this. But if we do, we could finish with more than a minute on the clock. And that might make it really hard for June to take this shot confidently. We have moved around a lot, though. So we'll have to see if June is taking stock of that, because his party hasn't been that active. There haven't been that many people at bar. People have mostly stayed in the same conversations. It's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, the thing about pub 3 of 7 is that the spy doesn't have to do that many missions, which can make it very hard for the sniper. The thing that balances it for the sniper is that the spy doesn't have that much time. But with 2 time ads, that's a lot that June has been having to watch and keep track of. And it just gives more people time to go get inspects.
We go for a difficult fingerprint off this bar drink, and we don't get it, unfortunately, because that would have been a really interesting way to finish with fingerprints. So now we have this drink. We could send off a delegate. I don't know if we're going to go into statues. Now that we have this drink, we might try a delegate instead, which can be pretty good. Statueless games are pretty good on pub if you can pull them off. We're going to delegate to a low-lit Smallman here. So let's see if June is on top of this and sees this list gone. This has been a really long pub game, so that can really wear on you. But I don't see a reaction from June. I think the Scout's going to get away with this one. And Scout picks up the win.
Yeah. And there we go. That's Scout representing Team Dark Blue. Grosh is 15. And Scout goes on to win this in a 7-5 result. So it was a pretty close match in the end, but Scout just barely edges it out.
I didn't even see that there was a bug at the end. I thought that the mission win countdown was from the list being taken.
Oh God, I also thought that. I was a little bit confused because I saw the mission win counter start going.
I was confused too. I thought it was just lag. I didn't see. I
thought it was lag. Yeah.
Oh, Scout got that one by me. Oh, yeah, wow. Okay. Well, that's a really interesting finish because we did finish with 4 missions there. That was any 4-7 pub that we got away with. Wow. That's beautiful. Statueless any 4-7 pub on Snipercade.
Well, there we go. I guess that's why Scout deserves to win that set. So that's 1 point for Grosh, the first one that we're seeing for them on the board. Now we've got a matchup between It's a Cat Thing and Beanie. And so that's Beanie representing Team Dark Red, and It's a Cat Thing representing Dark Blue. Let's get started in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Now this is a little bit more of a lopsided matchup. It's a Cat Thing is one of our newer players here, and Beanie has been around for quite a while, is currently in the gold division of SCL. Really strong player. Hasn't had any major tourney results. Sometimes does get a little bit overlooked, but is definitely one of the best, top 15, 20 players in the game right now, I'd say. And Aquarium is
just someone who's very consistent. And I would say, I mean, if you look at where they were picked around the same spot as Kadi and Hunu, who I think also sort of fill that role of being players who are just very consistently good.
Absolutely. Hunu also in gold, Kadi currently in platinum, actually. So It's a Cat Thing is going to start out with statues here. Just going to get some early progress on Aquarium. Aquarium is a tough venue. There's, with the Shark, you do have a lot of opportunities to get missions, but if you don't utilize the Shark to get a good bug, it's hard to get missions done because you kind of have to have a plan for anything you do in Aquarium. So having this early inspect progress is good. We don't see a highlight here. I don't know if Beanie highlights for partial statues. It looks like Beanie's highlighting for bar instead. And we have a twin highlight, so actually both the other twin is highlight for going to bar, I believe.
We're passing right by the ambassador here. Oh,
doesn't take. That was a good opportunity for It's a Cat thing. I think that was a good idea. But sadly just wasn't in the ambassador space quite long enough to get it. It was mostly behind the shark, so I don't know if this is going to be suspected or not. Our legs were visible, so this might be credited. We'll see, though. We take out a blue book and get Kozgo Smallman here. We want to get some progress on this flirt. And we get it, 81%. One more flirt from pretty much any range will do it.
Yeah, you have a lot of time on Aquarium, so the fact that we don't have a ton of progress yet isn't a huge problem. There's still going to be a lot of time for it.
Oh, this would be a good contact if this SDA were real, but it's not. The DA is out currently. Almost everyone else in conversation, though. We're going to put this blue book back innocently. Let's see if we try and microfilm as the shark comes by. And we do. This is really well timed from Cat, showing that they definitely are familiar with the shark timing here. That was completely off screen. Beanie could credit this for sure, because this is a common thing for spies to do, to take that microfilm. We enter this conversation and leave right away. See where we're going.
We don't have time. We really don't have time for anything else. We are walking to the bar. Boots was right next to us, but she couldn't have delegated us because she has a book in her hand.
I am curious if this is a delegate frame, though. Because, Boots isn't a likely... She's going to put this book back. What are we going to do?
It could be a delegate frame on someone else in the conversation, but no, we're just taking it. And I don't know if this is the best plan. I mean, with a drink in your hand, you can't finish microfilm now. I thought we would maybe finish microfilm and do an inspect swap, but instead we're entering convo. We're getting a banana grab, which only lets off a couple of lowlights.
We are very fresh into this conversation, which might be suspicious, but this contact is really good. Otherwise, we have both SDAs in, and most people are in conversation. There are a lot of reels. We get the purloin, we send it off, and we get the seduce done. The list is gone now from Wheels here, but we still need to get one more mission done. It's either going to have to be we go to statues or we do a crash bug. We don't have time for the microfilm anymore.
Yeah, Beanie is able to take lowlights on the party, but isn't able to take a confident shot.
Ooh. No, we're going to go back to statues. If we had gone to bar, we might have been able to get a bug off. The shark was coming by. Beanie might have shot for it, but there was a chance that it would have worked. I don't know if going to statues here at the end is going to work. We're going to get overtime. Beanie does line up the shot. That was a really good attempt for Cat. But Beanie does line up the shot. We didn't have quite enough time.
Yeah, that was still a pretty good spy game. I mean, the fact that It's a Cat thing sent off that purloin and it went off, and Beanie wasn't able to confidently take the shot because they had missed, some of the flirts. They had missed the microfilm. I think that showed a lot of good decision making from It's a Cat thing. Also decent decision making just in terms of changing the game plan and, going for that purloin instead of finishing the microfilm. I think there were a lot of pieces here that could add up to a good spy game. It just didn't all quite come together, and it just ran out of time needed to finish everything. But there were some smart choices there.
Yeah, I think that
good on Beanie for being on top of it at the end.
Yeah, I think that purloin might have gotten away from Beanie. There were a lot of bar visitors, and it was taken at a really good time with that contact. There was a lot of chaos happening at that party right then. So that was a good decision by Cat, but just sadly didn't have enough time to get a fourth mission done without triggering overtime.
All right, well, that's Beanie getting another point for Team Dark Red, Psycho and the Deadly Sins. Final scoreline of that set was 9-3, a respectable showing from It's a Cat thing, earning themselves a few wins there. Now we're going to be seeing Minty Rug as Spy on Gallery, playing as Irish in 3, 2, 1. Playing it. Minty Rug is representing Team Dark Red, Psycho and the Deadly Sins, and we have Wrestler representing Dark Blue. Grosh is 15. Minty Rug doing something we saw earlier, starting off with a quick flirt at the statues there. The way the rules for how the AI behave works is that any AI at any point can go to any pad on the venue. Even if someone is already standing on the statue pad, their programming can still tell them to walk over to that statue pad if there's an open space on it. And then if there's an open space on the pad, but someone picks up the statue, then they just walk away. They just give up on their attempt to pick up the statue and they walk away, which means that they're going to be on that pad for just a second or two, which means if you're the spy, you can just pretend that you're an AI landing on the same pad as someone else, but you can get a quick flirt before you leave.
Yep, and we also take the microfilm out of this book. We have great cover from the conversation here. It was really impossible to see. So I don't think that Minty is going to have any suspicion, maybe credited, but this microfilm, green microfilm pocket, going to have to go to blue later. That is usually the more difficult one to get on gallery, unless you have a lot of people crammed in that corridor. And we can't get in there right now. We want to, clearly. We're going to do our flirt here instead. Get that done at this window pad.
Yeah, so far, Minty is in a great position having the flirt done on gallery. That's really where you want to be. Yeah. Minty Rug is known for having a bit of an unorthodox play style in general. She might make some riskier moves as spy compared to other players who follow more standard game plans. She's also someone who hasn't necessarily been playing competitively as much recently, a bit of a theme for the dark red team, whereas Wrestler is a newer player, but who immediately dove into the competitive scene, has been doing a lot of streaming, a lot of casting of games.
Yeah, this makes this a really interesting matchup because it's kind of an old veteran versus a new grinder here. We take a fake contact. SDA was in conversation with us, so we are going to get credit for real, but there were a lot of people in conversation, so a lot of people have real now.
And that's exactly what I was saying about Minty not necessarily going for the standard game plan. Taking a fake there isn't something everyone would do. It gives up lowlights without getting you a mission, but it's really throwing off the sniper because they don't understand why there were two contacts. And if they try to read into that, they can maybe make some wrong guesses.
Yeah, so we are going to step into blue books now. We're probably going to try to do this transfer, but there wasn't a lot of cover. There was some, but it evaporated as we were, thinking about getting this microfilm done. We're going to do it now. We're going to do it now at this painting pad. And it was hard to see with Salmon kind of take the briefcase in front of us. I think that we got away with this clean. I think that Minty can put this book back and we'll have transfer done with no highlight or any real suspicion on us right now. But we do need to get one more mission done.
Yeah, but how do we get one more mission when we have only 40 seconds? Usually you might want to do inspects, but I don't think there's enough time for that now. It might have to be a purloin.
Stacked there. Yeah, we could do a purloin at the back here. Smallman's taking a drink. We can't even see that the list is still... Wrestler is really zooming in on this, though. Wrestler, I think, is worried about Smallman, but couldn't see the list. Is going to line up a shot on Irish! Oh! I thought we were lining up a shot on Smallman. I thought we were lining up a shot on Smallman there. But I don't know if he was or not and changed his mind. But takes the correct shot on Irish for a white purloin there. I don't know if he was able to see that the list was still there after Smallman took the drink. And at first, that's what I thought he was zooming in to see. But was able to take the correct shot in the end on Minty here and get the win.
Yeah, the laser was trying to see if the list was still there after Smallman took, and it couldn't. I did not expect the shot to come off on Smallman there, on anyone there even, really. It didn't look like he was going to be able to pull the trigger. But that's a fantastic shot, and ultimately, Wrestler takes the set for Team Dark Blue, Grosh's 15, with a scoreline of 10-2, which is a dominant scoreline.
Wrestler
especially because that was a good spy game from Minty, getting away with the microfilm and everything.
Yeah, definitely. Wrestler has been playing very well lately, but that is a really lopsided result. I was not expecting that at all.
Yeah, and so with that, the state of the board now has Grosh's 15 with two wins on the board. We do have the Deadly Sins with 2.5 points, but we've gotten to see them in more games. So let's round out the final combination of teams that we haven't seen. We're going to be seeing Thabsies, Light Blue, the Super Spy Party Star Rush Superstars 64 against Grosh's 15. Starting off with a game between DNH, that's Jazz, versus Koopa. So that's going to be DNH playing for Grosh's 15 on Courtyard in 3, 2, 1, playing it. DNH is another new player who really only started playing just recently. Meanwhile, Koopa's been playing for, I would say, about 3 years now. Koopa's had some competitive success recently. They won the most recent Penguin Pool,
That's right.
which is an open event for players who have dropped out of the Winter Cup. So once you lose in the Winter Cup, whether you lose in the group stages or the bracket stage, you can enter the Penguin Pool, which is a Swiss tournament. And so, out of all the players who lost in the Winter Cup but joined Penguin Pool, Koopa did the best of them. After a 4-week Swiss, they won the final showcase match there.
Yeah, and that was a really tightly contested tournament too. It didn't have the top players, like Rav, Legorv, OP were all in the top levels of the bracket itself, but there were a lot of really good players in the Penguin Pool, and Koopa came out on the top of them. So that's a really impressive result. So DNH is going to step into this contact conversation here. This would be a really good contact. The SDA is in, and we have a lot of reels. Alice splits from this conversation just before the BB comes off, and Koopa does get the correct low light there. But otherwise, this contact is really good. We're not highlight for statues, which is a little bit surprising. I don't know if Koopa highlights for statues here. It seems to have highlight the real DA. I don't know how he figured out who the real DA was, but he seems to have correctly sussed out that it's sick, and I'm wondering if that's going to play into who he decides to shoot later in this game.
Yeah, I mean, even though Koopa was not doing statue highlights, if you know that Duke has the inspects done and has the real BB, that makes us a pretty big suspect. We're also going to have to move around quite a bit now because we journeyed over to join the seduction target and she left immediately. So we're going to have to chase her again. We're requesting a drink though, so maybe we're going to be going for a purloin. And luckily, it's not a white test. It's a green, and it's being offered to Smallman and SDA. Which means if Smallman takes it right now, we're the only person who's in the chain, and that's a bunch of lowlights coming off. Maybe Rocker was in the chain as well, though, because she picks up a highlight. Maybe she had a reject. No, Koopa's just taking
on
a shot.
Top of this. I do like the attempt at the green purloin there. We probably don't know that Smallman's the SDA, so that's just kind of an unfortunate. A little bit of bad luck there for DNH. I do like the timing of it was, early enough that we could get missions done without too much time left on the clock, or too little time on the clock, I should say. But that is going to be a set that goes to Koopa 11-1. That's tough. We've seen Koopa beat up on a lot of newer players like that. Lopsided result is nothing to be ashamed about there.
Yeah, and it wasn't a bad courtyard strategy. I mean, going for a green purloin,
no, I think
it works. It works,
yeah.
And if not, you get shot. So
sometimes you just have to do that in courtyard. You take a purloin and you just kind of hope it works, and it could have. I think that DNH's progress on that mission on that venue was enough to get it done there. I think it was a pretty good game. Just didn't work out. Koopa's really good. Going to be really hard to get a spy win against courtyard on.
Yeah. All right. So here we have Toad Rider on Team Light Blue. We saw Toad Rider earlier. They played the balcony game as Kane, where they did a lot of talks, and they got shot by Aiko. We saw that earlier, but each player is allowed to play 2 matches per week. You're allowed to play 5 matches total, and there are 3 weeks. So if you play 2 matches twice in a row, you would only have 1 left for the final week. So you do have a little bit of strategy in how you're going to space out your matches. And this time, though, Toad Rider is not going against a newer player. Toad Rider is going up against David here on High Rise. Let's take a look in 3, 2, 1, playing it. And David is a longtime veteran. David's been playing longer than either of us. And is just generally placed somewhat high in most competitions they place in. They're in the upper half of the divisions in the SCL. They'll often make it out of the group stage in any cups that they play in. Formidable player, known for their flirt tracking abilities, which is incredibly useful on High Rise. Any venue where you only have to do 3 missions, it's really important for the sniper to track flirt.
Yeah, since high rise you could finish with just going to center statues and getting a contact and flirt, you have to be really sure of if someone goes to center statues, could they have flirt done? Because it's not that hard for an AI to go to center statues. So you have to be sure of mission progress here. It's like a little bit more advanced balcony, basically.
Yeah, and that's why it's maybe not a great idea to start with your first inspects,
Banana
because
bread.
it immediately gets you a highlight, and the sniper's going to keep watching you to see your flirts.
Yeah, we do get a fingerprint off this drink here, a difficult fingerprint. That could be really good for Toad Rider if we decide to finish fingerprints instead of statues. David could wait for boots to try to finish statues instead of doing fingerprints here. There's a possibility that could cause David to hold his shot. Especially if Toad Rider has been doing statues earlier in the set, which we don't know.
Yeah, a difficult drink fingerprint is just one of the best things you can get on any spy game, on any venue, really.
Yeah, David could still know about that difficult fingerprint, but that is one of the least suspicious, hardest to catch mission progress we could get. The biggest problem we have right now is that we don't have a lot of flirt progress. We're far away from Duke in this conversation. We got a white for 17%, and we're going to have to come back and flirt with him later here.
Well, we don't have to, and honestly, it might be better not to at this point.
We're going to swap this statue. We're green swapping, and I'm assuming we're going to finish off inspects here as well. Yes.
Yeah, and that's too bad because it means the difficult fingerprint will be for nothing because we have 3 missions done. There's no way we get another fingerprint before someone swaps that statue for us. The only good thing is that we said David tracks flirt really closely, and if David noticed that Boots never flirted with anyone, we might not be a suspect, and he might not be watching for the swap. The twin is going to pick it up, but no.
Oh, wow. No, we're right on top of this. Did David
even have a chance to see the statue?
I don't know. I don't know what that shot was for.
The statue wasn't even seen swapped. Was it even swapped? It was swapped, but the shot comes off. Can David see that statue? I just don't think so.
Really curious. Was there a fingerprint on the drink possibly? I didn't see it.
There was, yeah.
Oh my god.
We were taking another fingerprint there.
Shot for fingerprints. Oh no, that's so tragic.
Is that just random? Did Toad Rider not realize there was a print on the drink?
I'm sure they didn't.
They probably didn't, and then David is just taking a shot really quickly there for the second print. Wow.
Oh, that's so brutal. I think that game might have been a win. I don't know if David was going to swing over to see that statue.
Yeah, I think so as well. Wow. But David does go on to win the set 9-3, earning another point for Grosh's 15, the dark blue team. And we're moving on now to Captain Bosch representing Team Light Blue, the Super Spy Star 64, and Verdress for Grosh's 15. Let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Playing it. This is another really even matchup of 2 players who both started playing around the same time a couple of years ago, and who both sort of play competitively at about the same frequency, not necessarily going super hard on every event, but just generally staying in the community and staying somewhat active consistently.
They've both been around. Getting green time ad outside here. Bash is zoomed in. I don't think saw Verdress at windows at all. So this green time ad's probably good. Let's see if there's any reaction, any lowlights here coming off. But so far, nothing. Do have to cram ourselves into Alice here. I think it's okay, but we are kind of clipping into her body. I don't know if Bash is going to notice that. Convo is very full. Wait for 34%. We have a lot of time here, though. We have a lot of time here. That green time ad gives us a lot of room to maneuver. Gallery gives you a fair bit of time to do stuff as it is. Currently, there's not much else we could do here. Suction target leaves. The double agent has a book and a briefcase, so he may not come back to conversation for a while. Gonna have to keep an eye on him.
We're going in immediately to get the fingerprint on the statue here. I think that's a pretty good way to draw attention to yourself that you don't necessarily need to do when you've had a time ad. If you've gotten the time ad off successfully, you have a bit more time to wait for the fingerprints. So going in for it immediately, I don't know if it was the right move. Oh,
Yeah,
and a
I don't know.
second fingerprint? Is this briefcase, does it even have a fingerprint on it
I
anymore?
don't
It
think it does
doesn't.
anymore. No, it's kind of out in the middle of nowhere there. It's been touched and put down a bunch, and it's gonna be put down again. We do. I did notice that. I think that Bash may have just given Alice bug credit outside. Was kind of staring at that conversation, and Alice walked right behind the Amba. Would have been really hard to see a bug there. So that's something to keep an eye out for in the future. I think we've had a lot of statue visitors, so I don't know if Vergis is going to get a ton of heat for going to statues here.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing for Verdrus. There's just a lot of people getting mission progress, which is what happens when you've done a time ad. What I'm worried about though is that we still don't have much flirt. Even with the time ad, we're starting to enter danger territory where we might not be able to finish flirt.
Yeah, we really want to contact. I think if enough people are in conversation now that we can take this. This is okay.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you have to take this because if you wait any longer, it's just going to get worse and worse. This is one of the better gallery contacts that you can get. Yeah. 2 full conversations, the SDA and back. How many lowlights were able to be taken there? 4 of them.
More than Bash got. Bash could have gotten Salmon, who I think might actually have inspects done, but did not lowlight him, even though he wasn't quite in conversation yet.
Well, the ambassador is leaving another fingerprint on another statue, so I'm assuming that's going to be the game plan. We have to make a move on the flirt, so we enter here next to Ponytail, and we get the flirt fairly quickly. It's a white test. That's fine, though. We'll still need just one more. Boots, a lowlight, is taking the fingerprintable statue. Tex is taking the briefcase. Where are we going to get our fingerprint now? The ambassador is leaving another one at the blue bookcase. No, he's not. He's taking the book out.
Ah, brutal.
Go for the difficult on the statue. I think that's your best bet at this point. If you don't get the difficult on the statue, I don't see how you can win with less than a minute left.
Yeah, but where are we going? We're going to the other statue, the one that the fingerprint is not on, as far as I'm aware.
We could swap this, but it wouldn't be the final mission, so it's not really going to be the best choice.
Yeah.
I would have at least tried for the one with the difficult fingerprint, but now maybe we can get one more flirt. We can't because Ponytail leaves.
She leaves.
We can go to the blue bookcase. We can get the fingerprint there. No, Verdrus isn't interested in that either.
We have to chase out this flirt.
Get the last flirt and then
Alice sips. She's sipping. We could get the flirt done. Now we just have to. Rockers. We're lining up a shot on Rocker.
Rocker's not being shot. We need to finish. It's going to have to be a bug here, and we go for it, but the ambassador's not standing still.
It was a good bug. Oh, no, we're going to get this one. We got this one.
Is it being watched? No. It's still Rocker taking up all of Bosch's attention.
Rocker gets shot for overtime at the statues. Oh, that bug was really good at the end. We were so tenacious. We just finally got it. Both bugs were actually pretty good, but Bosch was so focused on Rocker that I don't know if he would have noticed anyway.
Yeah, that's such a comedic ending there. We're doing this physical comedy bit where we just keep crashing into the ambassador and trying to bug after we kept trying to chase our ST and we weren't able to get it. We were just stumbling around the venue being so spy-like. But Bosch was just looking at Rocker playing this, will she, won't she game. Is she going to swap the statue? Is she not? Well, even if she hasn't swapped it, I think she's the spy anyway. It's
pretty obvious that what Queen is doing if you're actually looking, but sometimes it can be really hard to know what to watch on gallery, and that's what we see here with Verdrus taking this set 8-4.
Yep, so that's another point for the light blue team, the Mario team. Oh, no, sorry. No, that's a team for the dark. Sorry, that's Verdrus on the dark blue team. Grosh is 15. Yes. And so after seeing a total of 9 games, that's 3 games each of every possible pairing, Grosh is 15 is in the lead. They've got 4 points on the board, those 4 dark blue tiles that you can see in the southern half. And the other 2 teams both have 2.5 2.5 each, because of the very first set we saw was a tie. So we're going to loop back around now, and we're going to be seeing more games between Psycho's team and Grosh's Mario team. First up, we have Megaparsec versus Calumet on High Rise in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Another really fair matchup, I think. Two in the same division in last year's Lotus Cup.
I think they were, yeah. There was so much activity in that crowded space at High Rise back there that Calumet had to take bug credit. We see the highlights there for Teal and Boots, who both plausibly could have bugged as the Ambo walked by them. The highlight came off though, so I don't know if Calumet maybe thought twice about it. That could have been really bad news for Megaparsec.
Yeah, but as it is, if Megaparsec hasn't been credited with any bug, then they're in a good place here. Oh, a white purloin.
We're purloining. White purloin. I don't know if Megaparsec maybe felt that heat and just felt like she had to, like, do anything. So she does. Don't see a lot of reaction against this purloin here. I don't know if Calumet, like, suspected that this purloin ever came off. I don't think I would have. We're seeing it now.
Oh,
yeah,
that's way too late.
A little nod, but does Calumet actually know, though? Didn't even
I don't know if that's nod worthy. That's like, oh yeah, I've caught this purloin. I see the list is gone. I'm totally on it. Like, no, I don't.
I think that may have been a little bit more of a nervous nod. We're not seeing any lights taken. I don't know if Calumet maybe either does know or thinks he knows where the purloin happened here. But it was caught pretty late. So we're going to see...
I think if we're not a suspect for this purloin, then we're in a really great position as Megaparsec. Oh, are we going to bug? Oh, wow, that's a bold move.
Didn't take. That could have been pretty good, though. Uh-oh, we missed that pad. Did Calumet see it? I don't know.
It's okay. It's fine. There's been no reaction from the sniper.
Yeah, no reaction here. Just casually sipping our drink like nothing happened here.
Oh, there's a minute left. That's still more than enough time. We're gonna go for another entry
this
here.
This one has really good.
Great cover.
That was really hard to see. Calumet is not like lining up a shot here. I think we got this. Silent game on High Rise.
Well done to Megaparsec.
Well done.
The first bug, I was a little bit worried because I wasn't sure. I wasn't really sure if there was going to be a lot of cover for it, and we sort of really jammed ourselves into the ambassador with it. So that one scared me. But the second bug was just completely clean. There was more than enough cover to not see the arm at all. So really, really well done to Megaparsec. Megaparsec goes on to win the set 7-5 and earns a point for Grosh's Superstars 64. So now we're going to be seeing. Oh, this is nice. We have Calumet versus Paratroopa.
Hey,
that's you. So you're representing Grosh's light blue Superstars. I'm playing against. Yeah. Sorry, what did you say?
Tabsy's light blue.
Thabsy, oh my gosh. I'm sorry. I've done that twice now. Thabsy's light blue Superstars, of course. Yes.
Of course.
Going up against Calumet, who's on my team, the dark red Deadly Sins. So you know what's going to happen here. Let's get started in 3, 2, 1, planet.
Though it might take me a second to remember. I think I know which game this is. So I'm playing Irish here.
This is the first 5 of 8 that we're seeing on the cast so far. So five missions need to be done. Still considered a relatively sniper-favored venue, though, just because the sniper has a lot of ease of movement. They can just swing their laser around really, really quickly. And getting away with 5 missions is not easy to do.
No, it's pretty hard to get away with 5 missions, even with 4 minutes and 45 seconds on the clock to do it. So, it can be tough to get spy wins on this. And
Yeah, and it looks like you're having trouble finding the ST. You start walking, but they turn around and go to the other side of the venue, so you're just landing on a window pad here. Not much going on, but look, now the ST and the double agent are in the same conversation, and the ambassador's joining it, so that's where you want to be.
yeah, I don't step in right next to Duke here. I do
You
get
get
a highlight. I got highlight
Calumet.
here.
Wow, that's a good highlight, but what's it for?
It's because I'm too close to Queen. I'm stepping on her shoes here. That's a good highlight. It's true. Calumet caught this. So I'm definitely fighting an uphill battle now. Going toward this briefcase. Do I get it? I do. I do get this briefcase.
It has a difficult fingerprint on it, and
Difficult
you don't
fingerprint,
get
which
that,
I'm aware of.
unfortunately.
I don't get it. Yeah, so I actually don't know that I'm highlight here. I didn't see that this laser flicked over to me to highlight me. So I think that I'm still okay here, but I have this highlight on me, and that's going to be a real challenge to deal with here. I do step in closer to Duke this time, further away from Queen. Calumet probably knows that I'm returning this conversation here, and I do not have this flirt done, unfortunately, 97%.
Yeah, I would say you're not in a great spot here. You've got a highlight. You were seen picking up a briefcase, which might have gotten you a fingerprint credit if Calumet wasn't certain that it was smudged. And it was only partially smudged, so they could be crediting you properly if you had gotten the difficult. White time ad here at the back window, but as a highlight, you can definitely be seen walking away from the window.
Yeah, it's definitely pretty obvious that I'm at that back window. But not a lot of reaction from Calumet here, according to the time ad. A little bit of a laser shake.
So you're picking up inspect. Inspects are just always available as a mission. If you don't have any other plans that have really taken off, you can just always go to the statues and get some progress there. So it's not a bad move.
I tried to get away from this inspect without being seen because I wasn't sure if Calumet had swung his laser over to see me, but I think he did. So I don't think that I got away with that inspect clean. I think I was credited for it. Although it's already highlit, which I didn't know.
Well, here we are stepping in for the last flirt. We only needed 3%.
That's a safety off above my head. I don't know if you saw that.
No, I was on the spy view. I didn't see that. Well, it sounds like you're really in trouble then. The only thing that I'm curious about, is this game was chosen by the tournament organizer Nebula as the highlight of the set. So we have a little bit of meta information. We can read into it. I don't think it would be chosen if you just got shot for nothing but flirting and were the top suspect the entire time. So maybe this is gonna get a little bit more interesting. I don't know how though, if you've already had the safety taken off on you.
Yeah, I don't know either. Well, actually, I do know, but
I mean, I'll be very surprised if you're able to complete missions here as such a big suspect. I mean, there's a few other highlights now, but you only have a minute and a half left to do 4 other missions. Is that even possible? You're ripping out a book?
I am taking out a book here quick. I figured that maybe I wasn't being watched, and I also figured that maybe I wasn't being watched for this bug, and I'm correct.
Oh, wow. The bug is not on screen, but you're standing right next to the ambassador there. Surely Calumet notices that.
Yeah, Calumet must be picking up other suspects at this point. That's good that he's not tunneling me. I think that shows good sniper discipline. Just unfortunately, tunneling me would have been the right thing to do because he had the right suspect. But I think
oh my God, brought back down to a neutral light. He's changed his mind at the moment you're returning a book to the wrong bookcase.
Yeah, I don't know if you remembered that I was at the green bookshelves or not.
Library is a long venue, and I guess you had enough time to lower your suspicion level because all you had really done was flirted. You're finishing the inspects. That gets you the highlight back. Oh my God, a swap of the statue as well. And if you're still not a suspect, Calumet's not even looking to see this swap. You walk away, it's visible for just a moment. Calumet's not able to do anything about it, and you did it. You somehow pulled out a spy win there.
In retrospect, I'm really not sure how I got away with that one. I don't know if being a silent game helped. I didn't take a contact there because I didn't really ever have a good opportunity to do it. At that point, I had to swap. Game. I don't know if that threw Calumet off. Wasn't expecting the swap. I don't know why, though. I'm really surprised, honestly. Calumet had a great early suspicion on me for stepping in too close into queen there, but didn't stay on that.
Yeah, wow. So it looks like you went on to win the set 10-2. Very, very nice scoreline. And that's earning another point for Thabsy's light blue team. And now we're moving on. We have T-Flame versus Captain Bosch. So T-Flame is another 3-year veteran, one of the game's most prolific streamers, but who's been taking some time off over the past year. And Captain Bosch, we just saw them earlier in the matchup against Verdrus, where Captain Bosch wasn't able to shoot us on gallery for crashing the ambassador multiple times. Because he was shooting rocker at the statues instead. So Captain Bosch has a chance to redeem themselves here. Let's get started in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah, I really do think that this match could go either way. It kind of depends on which T-Flame we see here. If we see like super zeroed in T-Flame, he's really scary. If we see like slightly drunk having fun T-Flame, he's a little bit more vulnerable. So I really could, especially with Tan, I could see this going either way.
Yeah, I mean, the spy definitely is generally favored on Taeyen. Well, not actually. You would think they are because of how crowded it is and how hard it is to see things, but the win rates overall tend to still be about 50-50. And this is a good setup for the sniper because both of the shoji are on one side. The shoji is the Japanese name for those screens. They are random, so they can appear on either the left side or the right side in any combination. So sometimes they can make it really hard to see the whole venue, but in this case, it's pretty wide open, which is good for T-Flame as sniper.
This is generally considered the worst shoji setup for the spy because you get that open lane with all the statues visible. You can't move quickly between green and blue bookcase to do a transfer if you want to do that. It's not really a lot of upside to the spy, unfortunately. But it's still Tan. It's still pretty crowded. You still have a lot of ways to win.
Yeah, I mean, if you can get a bug off on the ambassador, like if he's standing at the back of the conversation, like right next to where we are now, if the ambassador entered here, it would just be so hard to see our arm move for a bug. And so a lot of the time, bug is considered kind of a free mission on this venue. We'll see if we'll be able to get one.
Yeah, the only trick is that you do actually need to get a good opportunity, and sometimes the Amba can deprive you of a good opportunity to get a bug, as he's kind of doing right now.
Yeah, he hasn't really come nearby. He hasn't landed in the back conversation at all, unfortunately. But we haven't had to move, and while we're standing here, we've been able to get good progress on our flirt. We've been able to get the contact. The flirt is done now, so a minute and a half to get 2 more missions on Taeyen. It's completely reasonable.
Yeah, Tan is a venue where it's possible to get a lot done without moving, and if you don't have to move a lot, it can be really hard to gather suspicion on spies who are standing so still. We've almost missed the pad here on the screen books, but that's okay. We're going to do the microfilm here. A little head shake from Bash, I think, doesn't like this. Didn't have a lot of cover, and it was a white test. It does look like T-Flame was looking at it. But
no, T-Flame saw it because he highlit us and then he neutral lit us. And now we're back to a highlight. For entering next to the ambassador and taking a bug.
Correct bug credit there. The bug was good. It was hard to see, but it was definitely easily credited for T-Flame here. They had to step right next to the ambassador.
Yeah, now I'm really interested in how this is going to go because it seems like we're a suspect, but T-Flame isn't sure about either of the 2 hardtails. We just need to get away with 1 more microfilm, but as a big highlight, I don't know if we're going to be able to. We don't want to do it at the bookcase. We want to run to the back of the venue so that there's less of a chance of T-Flame seeing the microfilm here. And we do go, are we going for it? We're checking our watch. Did we not go for the microfilm? Was that a mistake? Were we trying to microfilm, but we checked our watch instead? I don't understand. What are we doing? What are you doing, Captain?
We're trying to get behind the conversation here to microfilm. We're just dancing.
No, I think Captain Bosch realized that they were caught for the time ad, and so they're just trying to get T-Flame to accidentally shoot the wrong person. They just gave up, basically.
T-Flame takes his time and gets the correct shot there as as Rocker's head passes through that open window there.
Yeah, I don't know what
Okay.
happened at the end there. It looked like we wanted to microfilm at the back, but instead we checked our watch and then we realized that we wouldn't have time to microfilm and put the book away because we only had 15 seconds. So we did a green time ad. And then I think Captain Bosch just kind of realized, you know what? I've been caught. I'm certain that I'm being watched. So if he's about to shoot me for this time ad, I'm just going to start dancing and hope that it triggers a miss shot. And unfortunately, it didn't work, did not work.
Yeah, we didn't have time to take out that blue book. We had to try it. I don't think it would have worked. I think the T-Flame had too much on us to not stare us down for the microfilm, even if it was a green test. But I think we had to try it anyway. It was either that or do a purloin, probably.
Yeah, and so this set turns out to be a tie, which doesn't surprise me. With the result of that game, that was a pretty close game up there until the end because Captain Bosch was just in that perfect spot where like they were a suspect, but they weren't shot for the hardtails, so they were really close there. So that turns out to be a tie, and with that, the Thabsies Super Spy Party Star Rush Superstars 64 have the lead on the board now. They've got a total of 5 points. That's the 4 light blue tiles that are filled in, and those 2 ties that you can see up at the top right. And now we're going to be seeing more matches between Psycho and Grosh. Psycho's got the top left area of the grid. Grosh has the south half, and so these intersect over here in the bottom left. So one of the matches we're about to see is going to be on the edge, but the other 2, they're right in the middle of highly contested territory between Psycho and Grosh, which is going to be really, really important for both teams. And so we have our first set that we're seeing here, DNH. That's Jazz versus Beanie. We've seen both of these players before. And it's another game of Taeyen in 3, 2, 1, playing it. DNH playing as Pearls here. And that's for Team Dark Blue. Grosh is 15. And Beanie still on Psycho's team, the Deadly Sins.
Yep. Who did Beanie play in Aquarium again? Sorry, because I remember that Beanie had another kind of lopsided matchup there.
That was versus It's a Cat thing. We saw Beanie that's right. Snipe the Aquarium game and just get the shot off in overtime.
Yeah, this is going to be another tough assignment for GNH here, but Taeyen is a very swingy venue. It's very possible to win some games here. It's a difficult venue for inexperienced players, though. So we'll see what DNH, what his plan is here, what their plan is here.
Yeah, and so this is tile P1. This is the one that's off in the corner, so it doesn't have as many adjacency bonus potential.
They got a great contact here. Both the SDAs in, there were almost no lowlights to take. So they have really good progress here with a flirt, the contact, and we haven't really moved around much. So there's not really much to select us for so far. So good start.
Yeah, and it's a fairly similar start to what we saw last time. You have a lot of time to get missions done on Taeyen. Not necessarily about the time, it's about the space between missions. This is not Veranda, this is not Modern. The amount of time it takes you to walk from one mission site to the other is always going to be, just a couple of seconds. And that's what makes Pearls such a good character here. Her downside is her slow walking speed, but her upside is that she's got a really good standing bug. And that's just great on Taeyen because you want to get away with those standing bugs in a crowded conversation and you don't have to walk very far.
Yeah, her slow speed isn't really that much of a downside on Taeyen because you don't really need to move around anyway that much. And if you do move around, you'll have to go that far. We're going to step into side statues here. But we sipped our drink and we didn't gulp it. We had more than one sip in this drink, so we have to double sip at statues to pick up this statue. I don't think that Beanie was looking at that, though. I think that we're okay. But that is a hard tell.
Most snipers aren't going to be looking for that because it just doesn't happen very often. It's not a mistake that most spies will make.
Especially when you're behind the shoji, and Pearls is a very slow statue pickup anyway. She has the slowest statue animations in the entire game, so it's kind of doesn't seem that unnatural for her to be standing there forever. So we're probably okay. Ooh.
Here's the ambassador, and we're at the back conversation, but we don't exactly have a lot of cover. The lean would actually be quite visible, I think, if we did a bug. Instead, we're doing a purloin. Purloining when you're right next to the ambassador can be kind of dangerous because it's when the sniper is going to be looking at you.
Yeah, and it also could go to the ambassador next, although it didn't. It goes to Kane here, who is not a low light. He is going to take the drink, and it's not very visible. We can't see the fade. Beanie is going to confirm the list is gone here, and we're going back to statues to get this done.
Has Beanie had a chance to see it? No, I think just now for a split second, Beanie could see that the tray was empty, and that's all they needed.
Yep. They were right on top of this. Sadly, we didn't even have the flirt done, so we wouldn't have had missions done anyway. We got a white test at the end there. So yeah, that's going to be a win for Beanie and a win for beating the set overall. 11-1.
Yeah, good, very good confident shot. 11-1. Very strong scoreline. That's the same scoreline that DNH. No, that's the same scoreline. Never mind. DNH got a 1 versus 11 in their other set against Koopa as well there.
Yeah, DNH got 2 really tough assignments here. That's really not their fault at all.
All right, so next up, this one's mine. So I will leave most of the commenting to you. So I'm on Team Red going up against Banana Bread, who is on the dark blue team, and we have Gallery playing as Taft in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
This is another matchup where you have taken a little bit of time off from the game and you're returning, so kind of matching that theme for Psycho's team here. And Banana Bread is a really good player. I think was drafted much too low. Banana Bread is strong enough to play in this mid to high tier and beat almost anyone. So this is really a matchup that I could see going either way. We see you playing as Taft here on Gallery, which I like. Taft is very fast. Gallery is very long. It's nice to have that quick speed there. You do random all your casts. I know this. So it's more likely to see you playing Taft than it is to see most people, since most people take Taft as their Amba.
Yeah, and Taft has really quick walking speed, which can be super useful on Gallery because you might have to go all the way across the venue to get a flirt or a contact. I'm picking up a briefcase here, and it doesn't have a fingerprint on it, which I don't think I knew that. I think I just went for it because it was nearby, and then I realized it was empty, and it's like, oh, cool. Now you have suspicion for a fingerprint that you didn't even get.
It could have plausibly been put down there by the ambassador. They will put their briefcase down at window pads sometimes, so that could have plausibly have been fresh. It just wasn't. That's unfortunate. It was probably put down by an Amba who's leaving that pad or something like that, or maybe they went to bookcase or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, and we have the chat. We have Furby Fubar in chat pointing out that I brought a drink outside. That's also something you're not allowed to do. The rules of New York say that you cannot bring an alcoholic beverage out onto the street. So AIs have something like a 90% chance of staying inside if they have a drink. And it looks like I did a timeout out there, which makes sense. Not a lot of mission progress.
Wasn't closely seen by BB. I don't know if Banana Bread saw the timeout. I think you got away with it. Didn't see a lot of reaction here.
It looks like I'm waiting for a contact but I want a few more people in conversation first, but I just go for it.
You just go for it. I kind of get it, because contacts, the DA can leave on Gallery and never return to conversation ever. So you kind of have to take a contact when you can get one. We see Banana Bread does take this low light on Tex as he was just entering conversation. It comes off. So he got a really good reaction on this. I think came out a little bit ahead on this contact.
I think so too. That's a good number of lowlights.
Yeah, that was a good reaction on that contact. But you're still not highlight for anything. You don't really seem like a high suspect to me. So I think you still have a lot of ways to finish here. Are you close enough to get this with a white flirt? I am not sure, because this could be a 17%.
Oh God.
Looks like it was just close enough. It is close enough with a white flirt to get that 100%. So you got your 2 basic missions done here. You need 2 more missions. What are they going to be? Because there aren't a lot of highlights at this party. or even
Well, as
neutral life.
Taft, you always have the option to do a body block swap. That's something that you can really get away with, mostly on gallery, library, and aquarium, where a statue is facing away from the sniper. And Taft is the largest character. So if you stand in front of that statue and swap it, they can't really see it until you walk away.
Yeah, I wonder if that means that's what you're going to do, or if you're going to do something else here, because you do have a blue book now. You could. I wouldn't be surprised to see you take this blue book and slam it into green. Here we go. That's a trick
You know
that I
me
know
very
you like.
well.
Yeah. I like that trick on gallery too a lot, because if you're just not watching someone at bookcase, it's not that conspicuous. If you just walk right over and slam it in, if they're not looking at that moment. Oh, and now you're going to white swap here. You are going to do a body block. Taft is going to lift up the statue. You got highlight for statues, but you weren't shot for swapping it. I don't think that BB noticed the statue swap. You only had one moment to notice it there, and you got away with it. So that's a win.
Yeah, they could have seen it. I got the unlucky animation there where Taft raised the statue over his head, which would have given Banana Bread just a moment to see it. But I wasn't enough of a suspect, I guess, because the microfilm wasn't noticed. I tried to do it at a time when the ambassador was just walking outside, because I figured that the sniper would be guarding them, not really watching the books at the back.
That's the thing about gallery, is that if you're not watching that back really closely, because there's not much interesting to see there, that can really just kind of slip by you. And it looks like it did there. That's the strength of Taft too, is just being so fast and not very brightly colored. It's just kind of easy to miss him doing stuff. And that's how you get away with a win on gallery.
Yep. Final scoreline was 8-4, earning another point for Team Psycho. Now we've got one last match here between One Hopping Bunny versus Nanthalus on Ballroom in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Nanthalus is another one of our veteran players who's been playing on and off for quite a while, but is not on Team
Not
Red.
on Psycho's team. Yeah, I was noticing that.
No, Bunny is on Team Red. Bunny is a very new player, just started playing very recently, but a very talented artist. They're the one who drew our super creepy team flag.
Oh,
so we're all very,
great.
very happy with them.
That's really awesome. Yeah, so playing Spallman on Ballroom. Great spy choice, obviously. We are at center statues here, but I don't know if we're going to get the statues done in 2 cycles. And One Hopping Bunny is aware of that, and unfortunately just has to put it down with that other statue being blocked for too long for us to get it.
Yeah, that's too bad. The ST is right here at the bookcase, so it looks like we're just going to go get a quick flirt there. It does mean that we're going to have to spend a bit of time at the bookcase.
I think that's a good call. I'm worried that our long time spent flirting there could be seen with us as a highlight. But I don't see Nanthalus like really reacting to that or anything, so I don't know. Let's put this book back real quick and we're gonna get out of here. That's fine.
We pass right by the ambassador there. We don't take a bug.
I don't think we're gonna be credited for that. The arm swing from Smallman was pretty noticeable. The natural arm swing of his walking, which you wouldn't see if he did bug. His arm would have kind of stopped instead, if that makes sense. So I think that Nanthalus is going to be able to see that. We step right in. Wow, we're moving really quick. Get the statues done. We sadly do not finish our flirt here. White flirt does not get it done. We're at 98%. We do still have time for flirt this eventually. But we're going to need 2 more missions. One of them is going to be a white contact here. It's an okay contact. We have a lot of reels in this conversation. And a fairly minimal number of people out, but the SDA is not in conversation.
Oh, white purloin in the aftermath of that.
Okay,
that's at the back good. Here. It was hard to see us, and it was hard to see Toby kneeling down there as
really
well.
Good choice.
Ooh, zoom in on the list from Nanthalus, and camera shakes. Nanthalus doesn't know who did this purloin.
Or is that salmon? I don't know if there's going to be a shot here. If we had this flirt done, are we going to get shot for talking? We're going to get shot for talking! Oh, that's so close.
Banana bread.
Yeah, if we had just gotten the flirt to 100 earlier, we would have won this game.
That was a really good game from Bunny. I think that absolutely could have won the game. The white purloin there in a really good spot in the aftermath of the contact. You see that it got by Nanthalus. Nanthalus wasn't sure if it was Smallman or Salmon, and was only able to take that shot because of Smallman's talk, I think. I don't know if we were going to take that shot otherwise. That's a great shot from Nanthalus and a great spy game from Bunny.
Yeah, good spy game from Bunny. Unfortunately, not enough to take the set. Nanthalus does win 10-2, earning another point for Grosh's 15, the dark blue team. And so at this point, the scores are completely tied 5-5-5. That's
Wow.
5 points for all the teams. But we're still missing one set of games here between Grosh's between Thabsy's superstars and Grosh's 15. So let's round that out and see who comes out ahead. Our next game is going to be between Xenos Blade and It's a Cat Thing. This is a wolf versus cat matchup. Again, both relatively newer players playing on one of the tiles on the edge of the board at the bottom right. It's going to be Xenos playing as General in 3, 2, 1, playing it. And this is not either player's first competitive experience. I think Xenos was in the Lotus Cup last year. We've seen a bit of It's a Cat Thing as well.
Yeah, but both of these players pretty new. Could see the set really going either way. We are talking this conversation. That's probably fine.
We tried a bug there.
General's bug is so good that it was really hard to see anyway. But we were too far away from the Amba to get it done there. I think it was a good decision to try to take that bug. We just needed to be closer. Surprised we haven't really seen much of General today, because General's one of the stronger spies in the game. With such that bug, his hand is so hard to see. His arm barely moves. Get a contact, and we leave it. We split right out of it, but Cat does not bite in low light General here. Doesn't highlight us either for being statues. There's the highlight. So we got 2 missions done already. We don't have any flirt progress. We're gonna have to do that. And yeah, there we go. Good conversation entry. Immediate talk. 51% on the flirt. The speed of that talk may be a little bit suspicious if It's a Cat Thing watches for that sort of thing. But if not, then we have pretty good mission progress with 2 minutes left.
Yeah, I mean, it's still Courtyard, so you still need to find a way to get your 4th mission, and that's harder to do if you have a highlight. But the more you've gotten those missions done really quickly at the start, the more you have time to pick the exact right moment to get away with that 4th mission.
We started talking and then stopped, but that stop was illegal. We weren't interrupted, and now we're no-talking this conversation. It's a fairly minor detail, and I don't know if Kat is going to pick up on that, but it's interesting. It was interesting that Xenosblade made that choice. Sometimes, I'm the sort of player who, if I notice someone start and stop like that, if the stop was illegal, often spies don't think to do that. So it can look really AI-like, but here it was not legal to do that. That's okay, though. We're going to pick up this fingerprintable statue. We do still have time to finish fingerprints if we want.
It's hard to get a second fingerprint on Courtyard just because there's one less place for the ambassador to leave them. There's no bookshelves. The briefcase is over at a window. It might still have a fingerprint on it, but we just go in to get the flirt. And I mean, needing one more fingerprint is not a bad place to be, because if the sniper's not on top of the soft tells, they might not shoot you for it.
Amba's here, but we're not going to take the bug. We're going to walk away. What are we looking for here? We've got 30 seconds left. We don't have a lot of time now. Fingerprint may be off the table. I don't know if we're going to be able to get a fingerprint. We're going back to statues for the 3rd time this game. We're going to swap here. That's a way to finish.
Stay on screen. The ambassador's on the other side. It's a green swap as well. That means the clock is going to hang.
Yeah. We could go for that briefcase, but I don't know if it has a fingerprint on it still.
Oh.
Wow.
The cat thing doesn't even wait. As soon as the clock starts hanging, they know that it's because of it's a green swap.
That's a really confident shot. Cat was not fooled at all by the green swap hanging there. Just immediately takes that shot. May have been waiting for overtime, just took a shot assuming it was overtime. Possibly. Great shot for Cat there. And takes this set by a
7-5.
7-5. Yeah, close set.
Yep. That's another point for Grosh's 15. Now we have Moraconda versus Corvus Mallory. We're continuing our animal theme here. We've got a snake versus a bird. Snakes typically eat birds, right?
They can, I think.
They
Yeah, sure.
can. I mean, it doesn't go the other way around, at
No,
least. All right. So it's Corvus spying as teal
typically
in
not.
3, 2, 1, playing it.
I mean, you could have a large bird like attack a snake. I think that might happen, like a hawk or something.
Corvus is a raven, though.
Yeah,
Is
ravens are pretty opportunistic. Like they could eat anything.
Yeah.
All
All right. Well, Corvus starting off with a flirt here at Windows. Only a white test, but good to get that in early.
Yep. Corvus, our illustrious host tonight, hosting this for us, has done a lot of work behind the scenes to get this cast done. So many props to her here.
Yeah, and this is tile P4, which is really right in the middle of the shared territory between these two teams. So it's a pretty high value tile. And they played balcony and courtyard.
Yes, that could really go either way, the balcony games. And I do think that this is a pretty close matchup, too. Both players have been playing for a little while here. I really think that this could go either way. Boy, the Amba really wants to be bugged by Pearls here, but Pearls is not going to bug. You're not the spy. Leave. That's a pretty good contact. SDA was in with all these people who are already highlight here. So that's going to work out pretty well for Corvus, I think. Not really clear who did this contact.
Yeah, I think it's a good position to be in. There's already a lot of highlights here in this party, so we're just
a lot of
blending
highlights.
in.
A lot of highlights. I don't think that we have a whole lot of suspicion here. We were highlight for real contact here. Oh, that bug was so good.
That was lovely.
That arm.
I love that.
Teal isn't known for having a great bug, but that arm just disappeared to the taft and just wasn't easy to see at all.
Yeah,
even though we're highlight, we were a highlight for real contact, which is a really good decision from Moraconda, but still wasn't able to pick up that the bug. I don't think there was a reaction to that. I think we got it.
No, I think it's because it was surprisingly not visible. I think a lot of snipers would think, look, if teal bugged there, I would have noticed it.
If teal bugged there, I would have seen it. Yeah.
She doesn't have the most subtle bug animation. Her arm sticks out sort of stiffly. Mm-hmm. So I think Moraconda probably thinks it didn't happen.
Yeah. And so we're highlight. We haven't been to statues here. We're highlight for real contact. I am curious to see if Moraconda could take this shot anyway, just for going to inspects after having real BB. We get this. We did one cycle now. That was pretty good. It seemed fast. So we just have to. We're not getting shot for inspects, so all we have to do is flirt here. Ooh, this pad entry was actually pretty good. Maybe that was. But look
at the sniper laser. It was just kind of rotating around to the other side. It didn't look very concerned with our conversation entry at all. And there's the last flirt. That's 10 seconds until Corvus wins.
Like Corvus got this.
She's not even on screen. Just not even being watched.
No. Moraconda has a lot to think about in this game, I think, and just isn't paying attention to teal. Without the bug, that's going to be a pretty hard shot to take. So that's a nice win.
It really just comes down to the bug, yeah. And Corvus takes the set 7-5. So like we said, it was a very close matchup. Corvus just takes it for Garrosh's 15. And that's starting to look really good for Garrosh's 15. The board was all tied up before this, and now they've just got 2 in a row. Yeah. Let's see if they can get all 3 in this set. We have next Lazy Bear versus Guggy. Okay, this one maybe
this is going to be a tough assignment. This is a tough assignment for Guggy. Lazy Bear, our reigning SCL champion, one of the best players in the game. That's tough. Guggy has been playing quite a bit, has a lot of experience, but this will be tough.
All right, let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Playing it. Yeah, and Guggy got some rough matchups this week. Guggy chose to play 2 matches and got matched up with the 2 strongest players on the Mario team, Legorv and Lazy Bear.
Yeah. Lazy is just fidgeting around, trying to safetying off on Kane like super hard here. Guggy is a little bit of a memer, so I'm not sure if there was like a reason for that or if it was just, I don't know. But Lazy's path there, just like meandering about, trying to get in next to Kane here. I thought he was going to be the one who was safety off on, but seems to have gotten away with it. Seems to be okay.
Yeah, and so in the back conversation here, we're not anywhere near our seduction target, so we only get a very small flirt because we're all the way across the conversation from them.
Yeah.
But we do have the double agent with us, so we can fire off a contact at some point.
Only at the
here.
65%. It's really unfortunate because that's not even close enough for even a close white flirt. We're just going to go right there and get it. Or we're going to green this. We're going to green this and get the flirt done. Lazy Bear has one of the best AT rates in the game. In general, is one of the most dangerous spies in the game too. Not surprised to see this flirt get done. With lots of time left here. Fingerprintable statue.
Yeah, and we waited a little bit before getting this fingerprint. That's different than what we saw last time on Gallery when we saw.
We didn't get the fingerprint.
Wait, we didn't.
Lazy didn't know this had a fingerprint on it.
Oh my god.
That's a surprising. I see a lot of players that happens a lot. It's hard to know sometimes that a statue has a fingerprint on it, and there's not always a clear indication that there's a fingerprint. But that's a little bit of a surprising mistake for Lazy Bear to make. I would have expected him to know that there was a print on that statue and get it. But if we don't complete prints, then that's probably okay. It's unclear if Guggy knew that there's a print on that statue.
Yeah, it's not a death sentence.
It's
not a great position to be in.
That would have been nice to have, though, that fingerprint in pocket. A little bit unfortunate we don't have it. We have a minute 40 left, and we do need to get moving here. Seduce is done, but Contact, the DA is out right now. Just kind of chilling, and we don't know when he'll be back in conversation. Lazy Bear is picking up the briefcase here. Could have fingerprints done. Alas, does not have fingerprints done.
No, and we don't return the briefcase either. We hope that we're not going to be seen outside with it, so we don't even bother to return the briefcase.
Well, we're picking up another fingerprintable statue, and I'm pretty sure that Lazy Bear does know this has a fingerprint. Green's the difficult. It's fine. Difficult prints are not difficult for Lazy Bear. He gets
that's one way to get your prints done.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Swapping, silent game. Here we go. Green swap. Let's see if Guggy is on top of this. So we've been to this statue here. Was a head statue. Let's see who's going to pick this up. Is it going to be Pearls? Pearls is not a great swap blocker. She takes an interesting path to get there. I think she had to kind of get called to it. She's getting highlight, but is Guggy going to watch this swap come off? There it is now. The swap has happened. Guggy is looking at it, but does he think that Pearls did it? He's really staring down Pearls and might line up a shot. He's definitely not lining up a shot on Twin, though. And this is a win for Lazy Bear. Silent game. Just doing 3 missions there at the statue all at once. Not pick up that fingerprint on the first statue, doesn't come back to haunt Lazy Bear here, and he gets the win.
Yeah, that was an interesting path to getting those prints, but it worked out in the end. And Lazy Bear is such a strong spy, they can probably get, 4.5 missions by a lot of snipers. So Lazy Bear goes on to take the set 10-2, earning another point for Thabsy's Superstars 64. And now the board has 7 points for Grosh's 15, 6 points for Thabsy's Superstars, and only 5 points for Psycho's Deadly Sins. So Psycho desperately needs some points. We're going to be seeing 3 more sets of games. So we're going to be seeing another 2 sets from all 3 teams. We'll see how things shake out after that. So first up, we have a Bearar versus Sauerkraut. This was a match played on Gallery and Pub. I mentioned a Bearar right at the start of the stream for being probably the player who's been out of competitive for the longest time, but who had previously had some of the strongest results and was picked relatively late in the draft as a result of that. And a lot of the team captains who were drafting haven't even really been playing the game until after Bear went on hiatus. So it's going to be really interesting to see how Bear does coming back after such a long break. And they got a hard first matchup against Sauerkraut, who's really one of the
game.
Yeah, one of the strongest competitive players right now. Hasn't quite had a competition win, but has gotten really far in a lot of them. And so they're playing Pub, any 3 of 7, also known as Snipe Arcade Pub, and it's going to be Bear as Duke in 3, 2, 1, Planet.
I happen to know a Bear does like pub, does like sniping pub a lot because this is one of those. A Bear is like, oh, that was a great bug. Wow, I didn't even have time to say what I was going to say. I think that that's highlight just for bar.
Yeah,
Duke has a great bug. People are sleeping on Duke's bug, but it's really good. His arms are so stiff normally that it doesn't really stand out that when he bugs that much. Yeah, I think this bug is clean. I think this could be the start of a win here. Sniper Arcade Pub, though, you don't have a lot of time to do missions. We got a safety off on Sorry for mysterious reasons.
Yeah, it's looking great for Bear, though. I mean, we already have the time ad and we have Flirt at 51%, so we don't even need to return to our ST right away.
Yeah.
Because us and our ST both picked up highlights because the Flirt was at bar, it will be noticeable if we return to them again. So it might be advisable to wait 45 seconds, wait for Sauerkraut to bring down those bar highlights, and then go get the Flirt. And that works out because Teal, our seduction target, is off doing a briefcase return, so we wouldn't be able to flirt anyway.
Might be setting up for a silent game here. As I was going to say, a Bear Oh, we're just stepping right into bar, getting it done here.
Green test on the flirt. Oh my god, it's not enough!
We still have a lot of time, though. It's okay. It's okay. The problem is that we have to flirt with Teal again, I think, more than the time here. So we're just going to have to walk away with this drink and gonna have to get another flirt here. That could have been scary. Sauerkraut could be on top of the fact that we got into bar with Teal there. Are we gonna
It's
step right
fine. We'll still be able to get it. Can we get it from here? Wow.
Sauerkraut notices. Sauerkraut knows. But he's not taking the shot. There's a safety off on us. He knows.
There hasn't been a third mission, though.
He doesn't know about the bug.
From Sauerkraut's perspective, there was no third mission. So probably thinking, okay, I think Duke has been flirting with Teal. Duke needs a third mission. He's got the inspect. He's probably going to go for a BB at some point, and that's when I'll shoot him. But it's too late.
Yeah, and Bear does end up winning the set 8-4. I'm not surprised. Again, I was going to say that I know Bear is a great pathing sniper. He really pays attention to that kind of stuff. And Pub is a great venue to play if you are a good pathing sniper, because there's a lot of weird little pathing things the AIs do on this venue with regards to the entrance to the pub and with the corners of the bar that spies don't often replicate. So even on Cybercade Pub, which is going to be a little bit less advantageous for Berar, not surprising to see him win a pub-based set there.
Yeah, really important point for Psycho's
That's
team.
huge. Getting a win over Sauerkraut. And as you can see, Sauerkraut was all over that game, just didn't have the bug. Easily could have won that game otherwise.
Yeah, and it's an important tile, too. It's right in the middle of the contested territory between these two teams.
That bug was so disgusting in Chaos Time. Oh, man.
Yeah, now this matchup is going to be harder for Team Red. So we have Screwloose on Team Red versus Legorv from Fabsy's Superstars. Let's get started with that in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Now, these two players have a long history together. Yes. They both started playing at about the same time. They've been playing for years. They're two of the most prolific SpyParty streamers. Legorv is known for streaming daily challenges. Oh, Screw immediately goes for a bug.
That's a great bug. It was seen. Legorv could see that Tex walked by the Amba there, but that arm was... I really couldn't see the bug. I trust Legorv to credit this bug, though. We weren't highlight for it, but I do trust Legorv. That was a good bug, though. That could have easily been missed, and that's the kind of bug that could have gotten away from Legorv, possibly.
Yeah, Legorv just one of the strongest snipers in the game. Yeah. Screwloose also traditionally been considered
a
strong player.
I don't know if that's for bar or for bug. That could have been a stealth late bug highlight there for Tex. But it also might be a bar highlight, I'm not sure. There's a few other highlights at this party. We're not dead to rights yet. I think this bug could have gotten off clean as possible.
It's
Yeah,
possible. It's just really hard to know how good of a position we're in.
it's interesting to note that Legorv is our top drafted player, kind of our ringer. We haven't seen any of the top drafted players so far. Rav, Legorv, and Opie, who I do think are the three best players in this game right now, drafted 1, 2, 3, just like that. Not too much of a surprise to see that in the draft. I really don't think it could have gone any other way.
Yeah, and Screwloose was drafted 6th. Screwloose was the
Yes,
second pick from Team Psycho.
which I think was appropriate. But so definitely we want Legorv to get wins here. The tiles that we send with Legorv to are the ones that we really want to lock down.
Yeah, this is an important tile. Like we said, it's right in the middle of the contested territory between our two teams.
Pretty decent contact here. Not too many lowlights came off from it. We are going to try to... Oh, Teal bails on us. Mad head shake from Screw here. That's rough. So now she's at red books. I don't know if we really want to chase her there. We do. Okay. That's fine.
Oh my
we're
god.
shot. We're dead. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Legorv knew about the bug. Legorv knew about the bug.
Yeah. Legorv is just such a strong sniper, and Legorv tracks flirts as well. So after Legorv saw the bug, he was just waiting for another flirt, I suppose. Our first flirt was like right at the start at the statue pad. But that's the sort of thing Legorv watches for any two people who are standing together at the start of the game. So
Legorv is one of the best flirt pairs in the game. There's very few holes in Legorv's game. He catches hardtails, he flirt pairs. It's really hard to get away from that with everything that you need to do in a game to win.
Yeah, Legorv goes on to win the set 11-1.
Holy, that's insane. Screw is a really good player. 11-1 is an insane result. That's crazy.
Yeah, Legorv is just unbeatable at this point.
Legorv got some spy wins on Veranda, man.
Wow.
Whoa. Okay.
All right, so we're moving on to Cotty versus Gabriel now.
Very close, Yamba.
So that's Cotty representing the dark red team, and it's Gabriel representing team light blue, Thabsy's superstars. Let's get started in 3, 2, 1, planet.
Bug. Oh, the Amber walks. Oh, the Amber. Oh, that's unfair. That's cruel. The Amber just walked right next to us. I don't think Gabriel saw the bug. I think that was clean. That was a clean chaos bug. Just unfair. So Cotty has all the time in the world here to get 3 missions done with no suspicion. This is A3 of 8 Redwoods now.
Yeah.
Well, A3 of 7.
Too.
Yeah, we don't even care about getting this highlight here for stepping into statues, which we haven't got a highlight yet. Pretty sure Gabriel should have seen this, but
it's Redwoods. It's hard to see things.
Redwoods is a difficult venue. In my opinion, it's the most difficult venue in the game. I'm sure other people will disagree and say Aquarium or Chan is harder, but I think Redwoods is so hard to snipe. There's so much that you can't see at any given time. So we have this inspect. Got a flirt done. It's looking really good for Cotty. I don't know if Gabriel has any suspicion of us yet.
The only thing that could really go wrong is if maybe we go for a banana bread and the double agent leaves and we waste it, if our ST gives us trouble. But we're just really trying to keep our fate in our own hands. We're going for the inspect now. So if anything goes wrong with the flirt and the contact later, we will have plenty of time to chase them down.
Yep. Gabriel, a player who's been in this community quite a while, has done a lot of community organizing. Organized a Hidden Cup. Is on this. It was also part of the reason why we have a Mario theme, because he has a Mario avatar on Discord. So that was just another reason why we went with a Mario theme here. Got a lot of pretty good wins in bronze in STL 6. I would consider a slight underdog here against Cotty. Cotty, a pretty good player. We've talked about Cotty earlier in this cast.
Yeah, Cotty was the 4th pick from Team Psycho, so pretty high up.
Pretty high value.
I'm starting to get worried about the flirt
now. I
am
too. Cotty is not playing like someone who got a clean bug here. We just need to get this flirt done. Yeah, just getting the general there. If this is Legorv, we would be highlight for this, but I think we're going to be okay with it. 85% flirt here. Need to get one more flirt, but General went to kind of a full conversation, so we're probably going to have to go somewhere else. We got the it's already done. We got the N610.
Yeah.
We need a contact.
If we contact now, there would only be 3 people on the entire venue with a real banana bread, and we would be one of them.
We unfortunately don't know the STA is out.
Banana bread.
We take it. If there's going to be a shot, this would be the moment, but there's nothing from Gabriel.
Not even seeing real BB highlights here yet. Gabriel may be thinking about it, looking at this conversation, but
we just need the flirt now. There's only 25 seconds. If General were to leave this conversation, we would be in trouble. But he doesn't. We do an insta-talk. It's behind a tree. It's not going to be seen.
Gabriel has no suspects at this party right now, I don't think. Nobody looks like they're doing anything. And unfortunately, not having that chaos bug, that's an almost impossible game for Gabriel to win. So really solid win by Cody. That's a hard one.
Yep, Cody goes on to take the set 7-5. So actually a pretty close.
Yeah, that's a close set.
Line.
Good attempt by Gabriel there to get a win there.
Yeah. All right. And so we have one last game here. We've got Sped Monkey from Psycho's team going up against Thabsies from Thabsies' team. It's a library. Let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Playing it.
Yeah, Sped Monkey again fitting in with the Psycho's theme here of having taken some time off and coming back. I don't think. Okay, she's gonna step behind this pillar. Gonna do something sneaky. I bet. Are we gonna request a drink?
Are we? We might have to give up on this. I think we want a drink from Toby, but it might be kind of obvious. And he's not even reaching us.
Bothering to go next to us.
We requested, but he didn't come to us. I think something got in his way, so he turned around. We're requesting again.
Yeah.
We might have to give up on this.
I don't think we're giving up on this. I think we're committed. We're committed to doing this.
It's right on screen. It's so obvious.
Why?
I think you might have had to give up on that, unfortunately, because it's just there was nothing else there. Like if that conversation is more full, then Toby being in the area looks okay. But when it's so empty, it's just really, really obvious. And of course, on top of that, there was a crash. So
that's normally a tech that Tabsies would try. Sped Monkey trying it against him. It doesn't work. Well,
Monkey was dedicated. We appreciate the dedication.
I appreciate the dedication to weird library tech. Doesn't work out. Tabsies wins the set 8-4. Didn't even get to talk about Sped Monkey.
The scorelines are looking a bit more even. We have Psycho's team with 7. We have Grosh's 15 with 7. And Thabsies Superstars have 8. But we're going to be seeing some games now between the Deadly Sins and the 15. So we'll see if they're able to catch up with the Mario Kart Superstars. So next up, we're going to be seeing, this is a big one. This is Hunu versus Opie Rights on tile G1, which is, again, it has 6 full adjacency bonuses. So it's a pretty important tile, specifically for the red team, which is Hunu representing the red team here. Let's get started in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Who knew a player who has a lot of really low-key good results? Opie is Grash's team's ringer, so to speak, their top draft. But Opie is going to take this green book out. Opie loves doing stuff in Chaos Time. And we're seeing that here with Pearls ripping out a green book, taking it right to blue. Doesn't look like Hunu is reacting to this. And if he doesn't, then this mission is free. Just gets away with it clean.
Yeah, and we might see something like what we just saw on Redwoods. If you get away with a clean hardtail, you can just win. And we're setting up for a bug here next to the Ambassador. Yeah. We're in the perfect range where we can hit a standing bug.
We got highlight for bug credit.
Yeah, we haven't even bugged yet.
No, we didn't bug. We really can't. We don't have cover or anything. It would be seen.
Yeah, we want to bug, but I think
we're going to bug as Amber leaves. Now we have Taft who might... Oh, no, we just take a standing bug there. No. Maybe Hunu
I mean,
stopped.
the sniper cannot keep their eyes glued to the ambassador that entire time. So you just want to try to time your bug for the one moment that they just dart their eyes away for just a second.
Hunu kept a great angle on this bug, but I think possibly stopped watching for it just because the ambassador, we maybe already given credit for bugging the ambassador, so might have stopped watching. So Hunu might kind of have Pearls' bug here. But if Hunu doesn't have the transfer, he might wait too long for Pearls to finish missions. Because I feel like Opie is setting up to do a silent game here. We're almost done with Flirt, and we have a fingerprint in pocket. That's all we need to finish. We don't need to do a contact. But Hunu might wait for a contact.
Yeah, I think this might be one of those cases where Hunu is definitely suspicious of us, but just isn't going to be able to take the shot. Maybe if we had to do a contact, if we had to do inspects, that could be enough to trigger it, even without seeing the microfilm. But if we finish with another fingerprint, it's going to be really hard. I'll be really impressed if Hunu's able to take that shot.
Yes, so will I. Opie is gonna still has a lot of time to find another print here. Is there one on the green book? There might be. Hunu could watch this for a microfilm since we probably were seeing it blue books, although we weren't seeing it green. We do get a fingerprint off this green book. Is Hunu on top of the fact that we have fingerprints? Then we take this book out.
No, Hunu's not shooting for this.
Yeah,
And if
Hunu's
Hunu's
not
not
shooting.
able to shoot for that fingerprint, I would doubt
I don't think we're going to shoot
that
for
they're
this
going to be
Flirt
able to
either.
shoot for the Flirt.
It's a possible chance that Hunu will be waiting for contact. We have a minute 21 seconds left on the clock right now. Hunu is not going to be lining up this shot. That's such a trademark of Opie's Spy Wins, is getting a mission done in chaos time and then just putting his foot to the pedal and just getting missions done before the sniper really even wants to take a shot, basically.
Yeah, just really strong game from Opie there. Opie goes on to win the set 9-3, which is really not what you want if you're the red team. You know, Hunu was the fifth pick. You know, it's a team of 15. Hunu was picked fifth. So it's one of your stronger players who you were really hoping would get a good result for you, but unfortunately went up against the strongest player from the other team.
Yeah, felt like Hunu could have been a dark horse pick there, but Modern's a good venue for Opie, I think.
Yeah, I think Hunu could beat Opie on a good day if Opie has a day where they're just a little bit off, but unfortunately didn't happen. We're going to be seeing another game from Screw Loose here. Screw Loose had a really rough result against Legorv. That was just another unfortunate case of having to go up against the strongest player on the other team. But this time they're facing off against Banana Bread. We saw my game versus Banana Bread on Gallery earlier. So Banana Bread more the underdog in this matchup, I think. But again, Screw hasn't necessarily been playing competitively as much as he did during his prime time. So could potentially go either way. We have Screw Loose as the twin on Veranda in 3, 2, 1. Planet.
Yeah, so we've seen both these players earlier, and both of them lost their previous sets. So looking for redemption here. On Veranda, I don't think we've seen a Veranda game yet.
No,
Veranda,
I don't think so.
You know, 5 of 8 is a tough venue to get 5 of 8 missions done. Those tend to be pretty sniper favored. Veranda does have a lot going on. Ooh, okay, we're purloining.
A red purloin. Red test on the purloin.
Red purloin.
No reaction, though. And there's a contact coming off immediately.
Yet. White BB coming off. Banana Bread is taking reaction to the contact. Can see the list now. I don't know if he's taking the lights. He has seen the list.
He might have seen the list, but he didn't see it immediately. So I don't think he can really know that Screw Loose is the one who took it. Might not even know that Screw Loose is one of the bigger suspects.
No, I don't know if he knows that. But he has narrowed down the party pretty good for the Purloin here. We take the bug. And that was, oh man, Banana Bread swung over. The pillar was right in front of Screw Loose when he took that bug. It was impossible to see. So that bug was perfectly timed. I think we got away with it free.
Yeah, we're picking up a highlight now
highlight
for
that might be
going to the
that might be a twin highlight for getting this fingerprint here at blue. But we do have a lot of progress done now with this bug. I think this bug has turned Screw's fortunes around a bit. I thought that Banana Bread was a little bit ahead with all the lowlights that he got off of the Purloin. But now that Screw has the bug, things are looking up for Screw. Just needs one more fingerprint somewhere and to get this flirt done. And I don't know if BB will be able to shoot for that or not.
Yeah, the party is very narrowed down. So I would say if there was like a minute and a half left, I would be worried that we might have to be really active. We might have to go for a really obvious second print and it could put us in trouble. But there's over 2 minutes left. So I think we've got a lot of time to set up for this.
Yeah, we're going to step in kind of far away from the seduction target here. But we do hit a green, so actually that was pretty good. Up to 82%. We're not as far away as I thought we were. So we just need one more flirt and then one more fingerprint. The Amba's holding a drink right now, but I don't think that's fresh. It's definitely not fresh now.
Yeah, the issue is the ambassador's on the other side of the venue from us. So while
Yeah,
we're
we can't even
waiting
see
for
what
this
he's
timer
doing.
flirt, we can't really see if they leave a fingerprint on anything. And we're actually heading out. We're not going to be taking the other flirt right away. Maybe that's what Screwloose was worried about, that he
Could pick up
can't
this
see the
briefcase.
Amba.
I think
Oh,
Screwloose knew that this briefcase was here, was able to see it, just barely. Does finish fingerprints? Is BB going to take a shot for fingerprints? Is I think the big question here.
I
If
mean,
he
that's a
doesn't take
really
this
far
shot,
journey to go take the
yeah,
briefcase. You're supposed to
I don't
pick
think
up the
he could have
briefcase
called.
if you're standing nearby it when you start moving. But the fact that we started moving from all the way on the right side of the venue and went directly to the briefcase, that's not legal. So if we were a big suspect, that's the sort of thing Banana Bread could notice. There's a chance they're waiting for just one more flirt, but the flirt comes off here and there's no reaction. So I think Screwloose has gotten away with all of
Yep,
this.
that's going to be a clean win for Screwloose. That bug behind the pillar ended up being huge, I think.
Yeah, Veranda's a hard venue to snipe. And so if you don't have the bug and if you don't really know that they were the one who did the Purloin, it's just going to be really hard to take a shot for anything else after that.
Yep.
So that's 8-4 scoreline for Screwloose here. So that's two results for Banana Bread with the same scoreline, unfortunately, and a really good important win for the red team. And now we have, this is a big one. This is two team captains facing off. Psycho of the Deadly Sins and Grosh of the 15 on tile S1 for Aquarium and Courtyard. Interestingly enough, S1 is actually an edge tile. It only has 4 tiles adjacent to it. So it's actually not the most important tile. It's interesting that the team captains just happen to end up facing off on it. We have Grosh playing as Ponytail on Aquarium in 3, 2, 1, Planet.
Yeah, so yeah, we haven't seen either of these players play yet, and they drew each other, which is pretty interesting. So, yeah, Grash can start with a 34% flirt here. We've seen a couple of aquarium games, but we haven't seen any like really good shark play yet. So I'll be interested to see if Grash can get like a really good bug behind shark, or something to that effect.
Yeah, Aquarium just gives you a lot of options on the spy,
It
and you have
does.
so much time too. I mean, Aquarium really on paper seems like it would be fine with a 3:30 timer, but you have 4 minutes, and I think that's a design choice to give the spy as many opportunities as possible to pick moments behind the
Yeah.
shark.
And here's the thing about Aquarium, as I said before, is that every mission on Aquarium takes a little bit of time to set up. There's no center statues. It's a bar purling, which takes more time. We take a book. No, we didn't. What are we doing? No, we're just walking behind the shark here, but we didn't do anything. I was on sniper view
No.
there, so I thought we went to bookcase, but we didn't.
Yeah, it
I
looked
mean,
like it. From the sniper view, it looked like we grabbed a book and just walked behind the shark, and we didn't. So it's maybe a little bit of a missed opportunity, but we got the contact at least.
Yes, it's a pretty good contact. Both SDAs are in. Combos are mostly full. Probably going to get our flirt done here with plenty of time left to think about our last 2 missions.
Yeah, the chat is pointing out that we did try. We did try to take the book out of the bookcase. We just walked away a little bit too early, so the book didn't register as being in our hand.
The intent was to shark walk with that book over to green and
it's awkward.
never be
Sad.
seen. But that's unfortunate. So I think Grosh could have gotten away with it. We're going to try again. We're going back to blue books, but Sharks is not. Well, the shark might come back. We might try the shark walk. Like a late. No, we're just going to walk away with this book instead.
This is kind of like, oh, we have Shark Walk at home.
Ooh.
Like, this is the Shark Walk at home. It's just not as good as the authentic one.
It's common tight.
But we can kind of do it here, right? Maybe, sort of.
Yeah, maybe.
The feet would be visible, though. It's not as good. It really is
not as good. But here's the thing, though.
No, hold that thought.
We're shocking! We're shocking!
He shot!
We can't. Oh no, Psycho knows, but he can't take the shot. He took the shot too. He hesitated for just too long. Oh, the amber was right there where we could take a bug. That's so mean.
And
what an opportunistic
Psycho nearly took the shot while we were at the bookcase. The safety came off, but he just didn't pull the trigger.
Oh, he just needed to pull the trigger faster, but that shark just all of a sudden just appears right there. And we get the mission done, and oh my god. Well, I got my wish. Got my cheeky shark play wish.
Well, that's very, very tragic for Psycho.
That's really tragic for Psycho.
But Grosh actually had a decisive victory in this set. The final scoreline was 9-3 for Grosh. But I have a feeling this was probably closer than the scoreline makes it seem, because these are two players who are relatively well matched in terms of skill level.
Yeah, I would say so too. But that's how it can be sometimes.
So we're going into the final 4 games of the week. The scoreline right now, 8 points for the Deadly Sins, 8 points for the Superstars, 9 points for Grosh's 15. So they already have the lead, and we're going to be seeing games between Grosh's 15 and Thabsy's Superstars here. So Grosh really has the opportunity to take the lead by the end of week 1. And it's not looking great for the Deadly Sins because we've seen all of their games now. So as long as both of these teams win one more game here in the final set, the Deadly Sins will be in last place for the week. And so now we're just duking it out to see who takes the lead here. So we've got another game from Legorv. We mentioned earlier that Guggy had the bad luck of facing both Lazy Bear and Legorv, the two strongest players on Thabsy's team. Sad for Guggy. Let's see if Legorv can pull out another win here. They beat Screwloose 11-1. So here they are on Modern in 3, 2, 1, Planet.
Another Taft spy pick. Modern is a very big map, so having Taft can be really nice, just as fast speed here. We're going to chase down Smallman, start our flirt, 51%. We do see a highlight for General and Queen flirting with each other here. A frequently known meme here in the SpyParty community is that, especially for Guggy, who really likes this sort of thing, the Queen General pairing, and we see them next to each other, talking to each other quite a bit. I actually agree with highlighting those two just for that alone. But I don't know if Legorv is the sort of player who picks that sort of thing. So you're not really necessarily more likely to see Legorv pick those two together, but funny to see that highlight there. Instead, we're flirting with Smallman, which is also pretty common. So we keep Smallman out of the SDA pool.
And so this is the second game that we're seeing from Legorv. We mentioned earlier that each player can play 2 matches a week, but they can only play 5 matches total over the entire the entire 3 weeks. And so it was interesting to see which teams chose to give some of their stronger players 2 matches in the first week versus if they waited and saved them for later. We have Opie Wrights from Grosh's 15, basically one of the strongest, most active players in the game. They only played 1 match that we saw today, so they are fully open to play 2 matches in the upcoming weeks.
Yes.
And so Lazy Bear, the other really strong player on this team, also played only 1 this week.
Yeah, so we got statues. We didn't get highlight for it. I don't know if Guggy's highlighting for partial statues or not. We take an interesting fake contact here, it looks like. We do have an SDA in with us. Almost everybody at this party has real now. And I don't even know if we took a low light on... I think we could have taken a low light on Queen, we didn't take it. And then we just walk right over and do another contact. This one is real. If you know that Taft switched conversations, that might be a little bit suspicious for Taft. But I don't know if we were even expecting another contact to come off, so I don't know if Guggy's going to register that. Do get the low and Queen this time, though.
So we're going in for statues here. Is there any chance that we're just going to do an inspect swap finish? This is the hardest statue to see on the venue, and we go for it, but it's a green test, so it's not going to go off right away.
No, green swaps are pretty hard to catch, though. We are going to stay here at this statue and keep the swap from going off for a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know how much that helps us. I mean, the swap can only go off once we walk away from the area.
Guggy is zooming in. I don't know if that was to see the swap or to guard the bug on the amber there. We are walking away now. There isn't a lot of cover on this back here, and Pearls is just going to step in to swap this.
Safety off on Legorv.
Guggy's on top of this.
Guggy's definitely on top of it. The statue swaps.
And are we dancing behind the... We're dancing. Taft dance. Oh, the shot comes off on Salmon. That's a missed shot. Guggy knew.
And Legorv doesn't even need to pull tricks like that to win. Legorv is one of the strongest players in the game. Legorv takes the set 10-2. Could have been a 9-3 though if Legorv didn't have that ending.
9-3. Please. Guggy was on top of that.
I'm not surprised that Guggy was watching that, because I figured Legorv was the favorite here and was probably going to win the set. But I was just thinking, like, this is such an obvious swap play. Surely Guggy's going to be on top of it. Can Guggy really lose this?
Yeah, they saw that the call. Like, I think Guggy safetied off on Legorv as soon as Pearls was called to the statue. Basically, it was a pretty obvious call. There was no cover back there. Pearls is like the only person who could even be called that statue. It's pretty clear that that's what Pearls was doing. But of course Taft had inspects done, so there's lots of reason to watch Taft for a swap there.
Yeah, I just don't think that was one of Legorv's greatest spy moves. And even going to the statue again, it doesn't really lower your suspicion. It just makes the sniper think that there's some hijinks happening. So I'm not surprised that Guggy was on top of it, and it's just too bad he couldn't get the shot.
With Taft, you want to be in and out, I think, quickly instead of sticking around. But
all right. Well, that's another point for Thabzy's Superstars, which guarantees that they are not going to be in last place. That puts Psycho's Deadly Sins in last place for the week, guaranteed. Now we're moving on. We have Damp Squib versus Lavanuke. Let's get started in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah, so 2 players we haven't seen yet here.
So at this point, it's really just a competition for first place. It's going to be Lavanuke representing the dark blue Grosh's 15. Damp Squib is on Team Mario Superstars.
Yeah, Lavanuke has been around a little bit, but is still a relatively inexperienced player, I think. Has been in a couple competitions so far. Damp Squib is a player who I think people consider an up-and-comer, but who I don't think is an upper-comer anymore. I think Damp Squib is just really good. So I would favor Damp Squib a little bit in this game.
Yeah, I think that's an accurate assessment here. And so with Fabsy's superstars just getting the previous point, if Damn Squib can get this one as well, then that'll really be putting Team Light Blue in a good place here at the end of week 1.
Yeah, I think so too. This is Library though, where it's hard to get spy wins easily on Library. Any 5 of 8, hard to get 5 missions away. We're just kind of sticking around and playing this very respectfully, just sticking this conversation, doing the flirt. We leave as soon as we're done talking, though. I go step in for contact, maybe? Yes.
We are, and the conversations
Good
are looking pretty
right
good.
now. Smallman's out, but other than that, pretty solid. One SDA's out. You don't know that, though.
Both SDAs are out now, though, so we would be the only conversation with Real. Damn Squib doesn't know that, though, and it still looks like a decent decent banana bread to fire off. I don't think the sniper would be able to get many lowlights at all, but we're waiting quite a while for it.
I'm kind of surprised that we haven't taken this contact yet. I think it's pretty good. I don't think it's going to get much better than this. We try a bug, but the ambit does not stick around long enough for it to take.
That's fine, though. We were behind the pillar, so I don't think there was too much of a risk to it.
Yeah, we're hard to see back here. We finally take this BB. Both SDAs are out, so only this combo is real. Let's see if Lava Nuke pays any mind to that. We do take this bug walking by. That could have been seen, but we're not highlight for it.
The laser comes right over us, which might make Damn Squib think that they got a highlight. But they didn't. And that's really good timing for a bug because you do it just a few seconds after the banana bread while the sniper has sort of finished guarding the ambassador and is going to really try to process the information they got from the contact. It's just one moment of distraction, and that's all you need to get a good bug off.
Yeah, we saw Lavanuke taking a lot of lowlights in the aftermath of the contact. I don't know if all those people are out or if they just weren't in a real conversation. Really staring down the purloin here. The list doesn't get taken. Damn Squib just needs to do 2 more missions here. Doesn't have inspects done yet. Probably see a trip to center statues at some point. Could just be an inspect swap. Or we could try something else. Microfilm might not be that bad this late in the game. Just don't know if, testing Lavanuke's ability to watch for books late in the game might be interesting.
Yeah, that's the thing about 5 of 8 is that, like, on a 4 of 8 venue, if you've got your bug off and you have contact and seduce, all you have to do is just go do the statues, and a sniper probably isn't going to shoot you. But on a 5 of 8, you still have to get away with one more hard tell. Might be a purloin. It is going to be a purloin. A green test reject behind the pillar. This is not really the sniper's focus right now.
This is interesting because Lavanuke had been really focused on the guest list a little bit earlier, but now has taken their eyes completely off of it, is not watching the guest list at all, guarding Twin like a hawk for this possible bug.
Ooh, is going to see the list disappear now. Right on screen as we're swapping a statue.
Oh,
we're seen at the statue here now.
Yeah, highlight.
I don't think we're a suspect for the purloin. So
I don't know.
What is Lavanuke really going to do?
I'm pretty sure that Lavanuke should have seen this purloin happen. Is reconsidering hair for taking the list. That's a good reconsideration, but it's wrong, unfortunately.
Yeah, and the statue gets swapped, not even being looked at. Not looked at all.
Safeting off on hair here, and Kane is completely nowhere to be seen. Swap can't even be seen. Seven's head is in front of it.
No, it looks like Lavanuke just really did not know how to handle that purloin, and it looks like they froze up a little bit, unfortunately.
Yeah, that was a shame. I could see that Lavanuke was really diligently guarding certain missions, but unfortunately was guarding the wrong missions at the wrong time. And that's
Hair was a low light.
That's how you get
a low light for the banana bread. So
yeah, I kind of get it just from the sense of like not knowing who did the purloin, because Lavanuke let that purloin get away from them, and had to try to figure out what they could have missed. So I get taking that low light off of hair if you don't remember what the low light's for. But unfortunately that just wasn't right, and Damn Squib was taking a chance. Damn Squib was taking all the opportunities to do missions when Lavanuke was looking at other things, and that's how you get a spy win on Library.
Yeah, and Lavanuke is pointing out that, they were maybe a little bit tilted at this point. The set scoreline was 10-2 for Damn Squib, so really commanding victory there. which is another point for Thabsy's superstars. It's looking
Sure
really,
is.
really good for them here. They should be coming out of week one with a lead, unless these last sets go very wrong. So it's Silverthorn versus 8FIS on Gallery and Library. We're seeing a highlight game from that set in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yep. So this is another matchup. Silverthorn is also kind of a player who is not like super active, but has been around for a very long time.
I would say the game's probably the number one spectator at this point.
Very much so. Yeah, watches this game a lot. Knows a lot about the game as a result. Ada is not a new player at this point. Has been playing very well recently. Pretty good results in recent cups.
Yeah, I think Ada is just someone who has a lot of natural talent. Even when they just started and only had a couple hundred games played, they were just already very strong. Someone who could become very formidable over time.
Yeah, and we tried to get a flirt outside. Kind of had to stop at a conversation for a bit because the conversation was full. We have 51% here. This contact, the SDA is out, but we might take this contact anyway. It's probably not going to get that much better. There's going to be quite a few lowlights here for Silverthorn to take. Let's see how many they get. 1, 2, 3, 4. Not sure about Smallman and Queen and Tex. So got fewer lowlights than he could have, I think. That's not a bad contact for Ada. This Amba is really needs to be guarded. Tex could have bugged here. This Amba is just in a very buggable position right now.
Yeah, and it feels like they were there forever. I mean, they're supposed to get pushed out if people invade their personal space, but that has just felt like such a long time to have to be guarding the ambassador there. Now, we didn't really take advantage of that. We didn't use that time to go do any other missions.
No, we didn't. We're going to step in and take out this briefcase, I believe. Yeah, I'm just going to put it right back down. Master's reading right there. My fingerprint in pocket. 2 minutes left to go. Tex is really not staying in conversation here. We didn't even get to flirt with him when he entered earlier. So he just left.
We'll be able to fit. Oh, is he going into combo? He is. Can we fit between him and Rocker? We could have trouble here, but no, we make it into that tight spot.
And we just go ahead and do it anyway. Amba's out in front now. Everyone wants to get this conversation. Duke had a very weird stop there. Legal, because he couldn't get in the conversation. But it looked really strange. So the ambassador was like very vulnerable out front there. So Silverthorn was watching, but I don't think our conversation position is a serious problem here.
All right. Well, we have one fingerprint. We're going in to pick up the statue. Does this statue have a fingerprint on it as well?
Not as far as I'm aware.
No.
But there is one on that statue across from it. Not
exactly. So we can finish if we just head over to that statue, we can get our final inspect and our final print from it. But that's a pretty conspicuous thing to do.
Yeah, it is a little bit conspicuous, but it could be our plan. I
mean, it's always hard for a sniper to shoot for only soft tells. Soft tells being what we call missions that, don't leave any obvious trace. That might not be the plan, though. We could go for an inspect swap instead. We saw Taft do a swap that was blocked by his body. General also has a pretty wide body, so could get away with it. But no swap being done. And now Boots is taking the fingerprint. There's going to be another fingerprint left, though. We could go statue to statue to statue.
Ooh,
that's exactly what we're doing.
Very cheeky. We're going to take a fingerprint here. We're going to be... We're more than 10 seconds, so we're not going to have overtime. Can Silverthorn shoot for this?
Probably considering it, but doesn't go through.
Nope, doesn't take it. Ada gets the win.
All right, Ada takes the set 8-4.
Solid result.
Yeah, it's too bad because it really feels like Silverthorn was probably considering it and could have been able to take that shot, but just unfortunately isn't able to pull the trigger. Like I said, it's hard to shoot for soft tells. You don't have any official proof that they are the spy. And so that's another point for Grosh's 15. So going into this last one, the score is 10 points for Thabsy's Superstars, 10 points for Grosh's 15. This is the last set of the day, the last set of week 1. It's Martini versus Eater Bijam. And so that's going to be Martini. Martini is representing Thabsy's Superstars, and Eater Bijam is representing Grosh's 15. And since this is our climax for the day, we are going to be seeing 2 games from this set. We have 2 climactic highlight games here. Set was played on High Rise and Modern. Let's get started with our first game. It's Eater Bijam as Duke on High Rise in 3, 2, 1. Play. Go. Oops, sorry. My bad.
You said that one so decisively. I was like, should I start on the 1? I don't know.
I know. I forgot that I had to say another word after that. You should have pressed play on the 1 because that's when I played it.
Oh, whoops. Well, I might be a little bit behind you then.
No, it's okay. I get it, maybe by a second. But wow, look at this. Martini gives a very early highlight.
Yeah,
here.
What is this highlight for? Martini is a very interesting sniper. Is a little bit newer to the game, but is extremely knowledgeable. Does a lot of theory crafting. Has a lot of stuff that they see on Sniper that I don't understand, like pathing things and such. So this could be a highlight for anything. I don't know what it is, but it's a really good highlight.
I think it's just because we moved conversations really quickly at the start. We started in the bottom conversation. Well, the front conversation, the one closer to the window. And we just immediately moved to get our flirt. And that's actually a thing spies do quite often, really. If they don't like where they started, they just head on over to the ST immediately. But that's harder to get away with on High Rise because there aren't as many guests, there aren't as many missions. So the sniper does have more ability to focus on people's flirting.
Yes, it's going to be interesting to see if Eater Bijam can shake this highlight ultimately. Eater Bijam is a very good player. So I believe in their ability to get a tricky mission done here to win this High Rise game. But it's going to be hard with this highlight here that Martini has correctly taken. I don't know if this contact is going to do anything to help things. It's a good contact, but Martini is going to be aware that Duke has a real contact here.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone left has a real contact because there were suspected double agents in both conversations.
So
but we let off 2 lowlights, and on High Rise, there's not many guests. So when you let off 2 lowlights, that means you only have 6 suspects left in the party.
Yeah, we do have a highlight on Smallman here as well, and he is talking. So I think that Martini may be thinking about that a little bit. Guarding this bug here. But even if Smallman was a spy, it'd be hard to take. Yeah, we haven't moved a lot since the start of this. We're able to get our timer flirt done here, and that's really great. We still need 1 more mission with 1 minute left to go. We're Duke. Duke has a really good bug, in my opinion. We could go to center statues. I think we'd get shot for that. I don't know if Eater Bijam knows that or not.
And at the end of the day, just switching combos at the start of the game, you know, it's noticeable, but it's not enough to take a shot. So now that 2 minutes have passed and we haven't moved, our level of suspicion might have gone down a bit. There's been 2 more lowlights taken, so just 4 people left in the party that Martini suspects.
Just he's taking a side statue. I thought he might go to centers, and that could have gotten him shot. But he takes the side statue instead, and that's not going to be a shot. So what are we going to do here? We're going to be purloining. We're going to do a white purloin here. The list is gone, but it was it's seen. Okay, Martini gets the shot. Good shot. Great sniper game.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. It's easy to take a shot when you see a white purloin, but Martini did a really good job narrowing down that party. I mean, even beyond the lowlights for the BB, they were able to take 2 more lowlights that they were correct about just from guests who seem to be AI-like. Okay, and before we get to the end here, we have 1 more game from this set. This time, we're going to be seeing Eater Bijam on Spy as General on Modern in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah, so we're going to see if Martini gets any more voodoo sniper stuff here.
Yeah, same roles as the last game. So we're seeing Ederbejum on Spy again. Martini had the really great early intuitive highlight there on High Rise. So we'll see if any of that sort of play is able to translate to Modern, a much larger venue where you have to be watching a lot more things than Flirt.
I was half wondering if the reason we got 2 games here was because Ederbejum was going to play a control game this whole time, just out of respect for Martini Sniper. But it's not what we're doing here. We are 3-cycling the statue for reasons that I don't understand. There was 4 cycles. Um,
Has
5 cycles. Did
Ederbejum's
Ederbejum
cat
leave?
just jumped on the desk and they're just dealing with that and not playing the game?
Did we just go AFK in this game? Or we just
What are we watching?
okay. Bets. This is like 7, 8 cycles now. Bets on how many cycles we're gonna stay here for. I don't think
Is
we're ever gonna put
Martini
the statue
noticing
down,
this?
are we?
You can shoot by now. You're only allowed to hold the statue for like 10 seconds.
Are we like replicating some kind of bug that I'm not? Where's SDK to us? How are we getting missions done like this? How are we getting
it could
progress?
look like a glitch. Maybe
look
you're
like
trying to convince Martini that the game has glitched and that one of the guests is just stuck at statues forever. So that way Martini gives them a low light.
I have considered the possibility of doing something like this that a spy would never ever do, because it's so stupid that it
I haven't
looks
seen
more
this
like
as a glitch though. The type of glitch that we've seen can sometimes be a guest standing
No, I've never seen this
outside a bookcase for a really long time.
Swap. It's a white swap. I mean, there's no reason to look for a swap, so yeah, okay. Why not? But we're still here. We can't get 4 missions done at the statue. If we want to complete missions, we do eventually have to put it down.
Do we want to complete missions though?
I mean, I don't know. We have like
the swap has been noticed now.
Yes.
Martini, would you like to press your mouse?
I believe that Martini.
What? Did Martini just safety off on a twin? Is this a joke?
I think this did this game
was
happen
this played on April Fools? April Fools was during week 1.
Might have been played on April Fool's Day.
They're just messing with us at this point. But what's with the safety off on a twin? I don't like. Is Martini in on the joke now? What, safety off on Disney? Martini's just
Martini knows. Martini knows. Don't worry about it. Martini is going to win this game. I'm just not sure if it's going to be. I'm just not sure.
Can't lose.
Is Ederbejum going to put down the statue or not? I think it is going to be. There's going to be a last minute clink. That's
probably
last minute clink for laughs.
Okay, Martini's just letting Ederbejum have fun. And we don't know why this happened.
Is this fun? Is that what is that how you describe this?
Man, maybe some people have fun like this, and we're not here to judge. But there's 27 seconds left in this game. You know, if this was Gabrio's Hidden Cup, maybe we would have context like, oh, this was the last game of the set.
Well, this could be the last game of the set. Because you know, if this was a set that was already 7-4 or 8-3 or whatever, it's already done.
Yeah, well, I mean, there we go. Martini wins the set. Scoreline of 8-4, and Modern was the second venue.
Yes, clank. It's Spyro 10. Okay, so that was that.
So maybe Ederbejum Ederbejum had already lost the set. I mean. 8-4.
Yeah.
So
I mean, Martini does win that set 8-4. That is going to put Superstars up, our team up in the lead there.
Yeah. So at the end of week 1, the Thabzy's Superstars have 11 points. Grosh's 15 have 10 points, and Psycho's Deadly Sins have only 8 points. But keep in mind, we were just saying which teams sort of assigned their strongest players 2 sets. Grosh's 15, their 2 top players, Minioric and Opie, only played 1 set this week. So they've been saving a lot of their power for the next 2 weeks, and they've still kept a very, very respectable scoreline. And it's not just about the scores, because remember, you get points for having lots of tiles that are adjacent to each other. And so I'm seeing, just if you just look at the south part of the map there, you've got a nice trifecta of dark blue tiles for Grosh's team. You've got a nice triangle of red tiles there over on the left. But look at the superstars. They have so many tiles that are near each other. They did unfortunately take 2 ties there up at the top right, which is going to be good for the dark blue team, because it just means red and light blue both, failed to get all the points they could have.
Yep.
So it's not looking great for Team Red. Other than that triangle of tiles, the other tiles they have are all really spaced out. And it's just looking really good for Thabsy's Mario Party Superstars.
Yep, looking pretty good for us.
All right. Well, that brings us to the end. That brings us to the end of our cast for the week. This was a really adventurous style. It's not something you see often. Usually we would just cast, a 12-game set. But here we got to go through everything. We got to highlight every player. And I think that makes sense, because this is a team tournament.
Yeah, it was an interesting style, because we kind of, we saw this at Hidden Cup before, but where we didn't know who the players were. But here we do know who the players are, so we kind of had to spend a lot of time catching up to speed with who all these players are, giving context for that. But it's interesting to just kind of hop around and see all these different games.
Yeah, and we were saying that Psycho's team had a lot of players who maybe haven't been playing competitively as much recently. And unfortunately, I don't know if it's working out for them, because they are behind here, but it's only by a couple of points. So a lot could happen in the next few weeks. And in week 2, you're going to start getting those adjacency bonuses. And it leads to a really climactic week 3. Because suddenly there are super important tiles where you have all of the tiles around them, and you just absolutely need to get that one tile there so you can get, 5, 6 adjacency bonuses. And that's where the teams are going to be assigning, Legorv and Opie and Lazy Bear. So week 3, it's just going to be such a climax, and we've really just started laying the groundwork for that. So I'll be really excited to see that. But that's the end of our cast for today. If you like what you see and you think this looks like a fun game, you can get SpyParty at spyparty.com or on Steam Early Access. And if you want to jump in and play, there is a Swiss tournament starting in the SpyParty lobby right now. There is a Swiss tournament every 2 weeks. They take place at different times and dates. So that they can fit in people from different time zones with different schedules. And these are designed to be relatively quick events that you can just jump in, play for about 2.5 hours. So if you join the Swiss tournament, you'll play 4 sets of 8 games each. The player who has the most points in the ranked matchmaking system gets an entry into the SpyParty Masters Championship, which will take place in the fall. So if you just want to get some quick competitive games in, it's a really, really good opportunity. So you can just hop into the Discord. That's discord.gg/SpyParty. If you have any questions or confusions about that, just ask in Twitch chat right now. We would be glad to help you get set up with that. And I think that's it then. So thank you once again to Corvus for hosting this stream. Definitely the most adventurous stream we've done, hopping back and forth between so many different matches. Thanks to Para for casting with me today.
Yep, of course.
And we will be back. We'll be back next week with more. Thanks, everyone. Have a good evening.
See you.